Yo, yo. Top of the top. Top of the afternoon. Top of the morning. Top of the evening, wherever you may be located at. What it do, my people? Glad to see y'all a little early, you know. A little early out here. You know what I mean? Little early out here, you know. Slowly but surely. We locking in. We getting it together. I can't get it wrong, you know. Welcome. Sandra. How you doing, Sandra? Look, if you can, follow my Discord. Hit me on the Discord, Sandra. If you do have Discord, I got something for you too, Sandra. So hit me on Discord. Where everybody, y'all can follow me on Discord, Twitch, Kick. It's all the same. Ace or Media. Everybody follow me on all platforms. But Sandra, you contact me on Discord, and I will be reaching out to you ASAP. Marcus, what up, my brother? How's everything? Hope everything's going well for everybody out there. Good to see y'all. Y'all in here. Y'all cooling slowly but surely. Jews. Salute. You know, you got to hit that water one time. You know how that go. And why it can be 2 days from, whoa, 2 days. Gosh almighty. Well, I'm in the US of A, Miss Mel. It's all love. We gonna all link up at one time though. You know what I mean? Indeed. It's Ace Aura, Ace, ACE, Aura, AURA, Media, MEDIA, on all platforms. You know, on all platforms. That's how we get that there. Yes, ma'am. But as far as you've been saying, that's how you can reach me there. Discord. Tap in with me, and I will be linking up with you ASAP. We here a little bit early, y'all. You know, welcome to the A Society. It's been a lot of talkage going on about this Pooh Shiesty and Big Gucci Mane. Sad day in hip hop, man. Sad days in hip hop, man. It's real. It's real in the field. For anybody that knows, it's actually real out there. You know what I mean? Gosh almighty. It's been a lot of talk going on, you know. So a lot of people have been covering different things in different manners and motions, but a lot of people don't hit it from the beginning to actually what's going on right now. So today what we gonna do is we're gonna find out what happened, and also where did it stem from, you know? Where did all this, you know, beef stem from? Crazy word, because it's sad, because Shiesty, he was one of my guys. He was one of my guys, man. And his music was undeniable talent, man. The guy was on his way to oversee the top, if you know what I mean. So, but now he's looking like, I can't even tell, y'all. I can't even tell what he's looking like, man, because it's looking like dark clouds are shadowing the boy, you know. So, remember, welcome to the Ace Society. You are now rocking with your boy Ace. We don't break the content. My fault, excuse me, y'all. We don't break the content. We break down the content, y'all. I'm gonna get that all the way right here. We a small content creation channel, and we rocking in and getting it down, you know, slowly but surely. So without any further ado, y'all, let's get this thing on the road, you know. Let's go.
Go inside. Nigga, please, nigga. They got $1 million, nigga. Broke ass nigga. Shit make a nigga heart hurt, boy. Don't make these niggas happy. These niggas ain't happy on home. Step to me, fuck nigga. I would love to, nigga. I don't care. You see me, my wife, you can step to me. I'ma smoke you.
She in the background talking some, hey, hey, what you saying back there, boy?
You know what's going on with me? Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody, not even the police. I don't believe in none of that shit. The only thing I believe in is don't tell the police. Soft ass nigga. It's the only thing I believe in. That's it. Keep it in the street. That's my only rule. Anything else, I don't give a fuck anyway. You know what I'm saying?
He said, just don't tell the who? Don't tell the goddamn police. At all. But hey, they've been involved. You know? The police has been involved. Juice Man says, try to remember that every dark cloud has a silver lining. Yeah, can't forget about that silver lining. You know what I mean? But gotta make sure that silver lining is authentic gold. I mean, authentic silver. 925 for the silver? Yeah, gotta make sure it's authentic though, Juice. Gotta make sure it's authentic, bro, because I don't know what's going on, but we gonna sit and we gonna figure out together. You know how we do. We gonna figure out what's going on together. Everybody here, everybody lock on out. Y'all double tap that screen for me. Comment, like, subscribe if you can. She Create, what it up? What up? Appreciate you for being here. Always a pleasure, always a pleasure. I appreciate everybody for locking in with the kid. We growing slowly but surely, y'all. We are growing slowly but surely. But hey, if anything of the matter is true or anything of the above, you know, he's looking, you know, he's not looking so well, y'all. Pooh ain't looking so well, man. The big brr might have hit his last brr. I mean, hopefully he gets some things in line, you know. Outside of that, oh man, it's just, I'm just gonna say to me, it's not looking so well. So we gonna jump into this thing right here. Y'all know we when I line things up like this, we do it periodically so we can figure out like what's going on, what's shaking, and get the full details of everything. You know what I mean? But we gonna find out where it stemmed from, where it came from, and we gonna lock right on in. So everybody get your water, get your popcorn, get your snacks. You know what I mean? Get your juice, sip on up. We here, and I appreciate all of y'all for being here. So let's get back to it, y'all.
Fox 13 is staying on top of breaking news at midday. Federal agents on the ground in Cordova searching a home owned by the family of rapper Pooh Shiesty. The feds confirmed to Fox 13 they executed a federal search and arrest warrant. Neighbors reporting hearing flashbangs as agents entered the home early this morning. And our crew saw them carrying boxes out of the home as well. And this happened over the past several hours. Fox 13's Jeremy Pierre has the latest details from Cordova. We're going to check in with him.
We're still working to learn the specifics in this house raid that took place here at this home in Cordova. We do know that according to the Shelby County Assessor's Office that this home is registered.
He got the most lispiest of all lisps, chat. He Cordova's in the section of, but let's let him get his shit off right quick.
To Lontrell Williams. Now, Lontrell Williams, that is the father of Pooh Shiesty, who also has the name Lontrell Williams Jr.
Big
now,
Pooh,
again, as for the specifics into this investigation, we're still working that out. We have learned that that this was an official warrant that was issued for this home, a search warrant for this home. Those FBI agents, TBI agents came to this neighborhood about 5:30 or so. People who live in this neighborhood told us that they heard
going through tailpipes, tires.
Also heard the shouting from the FBI agents, TBI agents, telling whoever inside of the home to come out with their hands up.
What it up?
Again, this happened about 5:30 or so this morning. Take a listen to what people we spoke to who are very on edge this morning after what happened early this morning, waking them up.
Heard these couple of loud booms, so I came outside and, I heard them say, come out with your hands up. We've got a warrant.
Now, again, the FBI confirming that this was an investigation, a raid that took place at this home. Of course, stay with Fox 13. We're going to continue to stay on top of this story for you all throughout the day.
I'm Ryan Rabel. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the...
So they booted the man doors down. That wasn't where Pooh was staying at. Shiesty, he was at a halfway house, right, y'all? So if y'all don't know, Shiesty was not there at that house, but the house belonged to his father, which is a senior to Pooh Shiesty. So call him. We're gonna call him Big Shiesty from now on. Big Shiesty house had a couple of people there that was also on their arrest warrant. So that's why you seen all the cars, all the vehicles there. So they are there to put in the warrant, search and seize, and go on about their business. Get who they wanted to get, who they came for, and go on about their business. So you see they was there going through the trunks, going through the tailpipes, going through the engines, breaking everything down. You know what I mean? Coming out with all types of paperwork. So it's looking really for the team over there. You know what I mean? That's all. Yeah, Juice. Full cavity searches on everybody. Not letting go, man. Not letting go at all. And this right here, what we about to get into, is the press conference that the FBI had. Let's get to it.
Northern District of Texas, thank you for coming.
I'm all right, Smurf. I can't complain.
This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges
Sandra.
that on January 10th
of this year, on the thumbnail. It's directly on the thumbnail.
Professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint.
And chat, he's saying one of the victim is Gucci Mane. So Shiesty, Big 30, and a couple of other people, they slid from the Big Myth and slid to Tex and locked in. They had a meeting to go on with Gucci Mane. They got into the building, and what happened was that they took over, and it became a robbery, a kidnapping, all in one. And he made Gucci Mane sign some paperwork. Stating that he was releasing Pooh Shiesty from the label, which is, crazy work. 2026. I mean, everything's going down and everything's being presented on the internet as well. So it's like, it should have been some better decisions made within, and he had his father with him too. The senior, he's a senior. So let's get back to it, chat.
The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness.
And that was the cameraman. They choked up the cameraman, y'all. Come on,
barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims.
So yeah, chat, y'all don't forget, Pooh Shiesty was just let out. He was just released, right? And he was on, like he said, home detention. So Oh man. So basically he was in a halfway house. Home detention is a halfway house. All right. That means he has to stay in the place. He's not able to go home yet, but he's able to be out and be free. But he has to come home. As far as that halfway house goes, he got a time frame, which he can come back, whatever the case may be. But they went, got Gucci, choked the cameraman, beat up the cameraman and all, and his associates. Everybody there got them paws put on them, chat. Got them paws put on them. Yeah, ankle monitor. I'm not sure if ankle monitor was included. It might have been. I'm not sure if it was or it wasn't. But the ankle monitor isn't always an attachment though. That's not, you know. So it all depends upon what the judge wants, Sandra. Yeah, but Juice Man says, I thought the cameraman always makes it out unscathed. Nah, buddy. Nah, not always. And that's because of the fact the cameraman, especially if that's his cameraman, he's part of the crew. Like he part of gang. He gang. You know what I mean? As far as they looking at it, like that's their main cameraman. That's their guy. That's their family member. You know what I mean? So hey, you around at the time. The time is unfortunate that your ass got tapped. You know what I mean? That's how I go. You know, that's how I go. Holy cow! What's up, bro? What it do? Can't complain. Appreciate you for being here. So yeah, let's get back to it, y'all.
The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendant's roles in the federal offense. This is as follows. Electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location.
And there you go, Sandra. Electronic monitoring. So yes, he did have an ankle monitor. Not always, though. It's not always the case that everybody has an ankle monitor, though. But he did have an ankle monitor. Gosh almighty.
Which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group.
Dang,
surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense. In this case, came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as alleged in the charging document. This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. I'm here to say that it is not, and that if you choose to do this, we will, together with our law enforcement partners here and the other ones in the Northern District of Texas, will bring you swiftly to justice. I want to thank the FBI Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, the FBI's Memphis Resident Agency and Nashville Field Office, the Memphis Safe Task Force, the Dallas Police Department,
So they came together.
the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, Michael Dunovit, and AUSA Greg Wagner, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Texas, my dear friend and colleague Jay Combs, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee, including my colleague Braden Busek, for their outstanding contributions in this multi-jurisdictional investigation.
Multi-jurisdictional. So they banded together, came together to make sure that they apprehended everybody that they need to get, y'all. They was like, we got time today. We got time today. This has to be one of the most goddamn diabolical, stupidest moves that a man could have made, especially for him just getting out, man. And they got everything that they need. They got fingerprints. They got phone call data. They got license plate reading data. They got credit card and debit card readings and paperworks of the vehicles being rented hotels being purchased. Oh, man. Gosh almighty. It's crazy work, chat. Crazy fucking work. Coordinated is the key word. Yeah. Very coordinated, but at the same time, didn't do enough. Because if they did, they wouldn't be sitting right here. We wouldn't be watching this. So we're going to get back to it and find out the tad bits, y'all. Damn.
Prosecution. I'd also like to highlight the extraordinary work. None of this happens without the extraordinary work of our AUSAs in this office. And I'm here to say we have the best AUSAs in the entire country. That includes AUSAs Robert Withers,
you there, huh?
Demers, and my violent crime chief, Jeremy Fugate.
Gosh almighty.
This case really underscores the importance of standing up for crime victims, no matter who they are or where they come from. And the incredible collaborative, investigative partnerships that we have, not only in the Northern District of Texas, but across the country. And we are all working together to make our country safer. So thank you for being here today, and I'll answer some questions after my colleague here speaks. But now I'm going to turn it over to him, and this is Jeremy Wright, who's the Dallas FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
They ain't playing with that boy at all.
Right, Assistant Special Agent
in
charge
charge playing
for
with
FBI
his
Dallas. As United States Attorney Raybold said, we're here today to announce the arrest of several individuals in the Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee areas, as long as one here in Frisco, Texas. These arrests are the result of a violent kidnapping of 3 individuals here in the Dallas area. The majority of those arrested did travel from Memphis to Dallas to commit that offense. Our office collaborated with multiple law enforcement agencies and other FBI offices to carry out this investigation that ultimately led to these arrests. So I'd like to thank the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, Dallas Police Department, the Memphis Safe Task Force, Memphis, Tennessee Police Department, and the Shelby County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department for helping with this investigation. Violent crime does remain a top priority for the FBI, and we dedicated significant resources from here in Dallas FBI, Nashville, Little Rock, Birmingham, and Atlanta FBI offices to investigate and successfully arrest these individuals. We remain committed to investigating violent crimes like these. No matter who you are, we will fight every day alongside our partners to make our communities safer. So, thank you.
And we have time for some questions. If you would just identify who you were with and your name would be helpful. Yes, sir.
Kevin Reese with WFAA.
Hi, Kevin.
It may be in the release that you're going to send us, but can you be more specific to who these victims are and a specific location of this?
People want them details, y'all. They want the details. They want to know every single bit. They're not letting up. And Juice, I didn't know you was out in Dallas, man. Shout out to North Dallas, man. Shout out to your boy Mo 3, man. Gosh almighty, he had them boys scared to come outside. You hear me? On guard. Big stepper, you hear me? Lost almighty.
Studio that you were talking about?
I'll answer the last part first. Yes, it'll be in the complaint, and we're happy to get you a copy of that. It's now unsealed. It was off Dallas Parkway in Dallas, Texas, a music studio. That's what's identified in the complaint. As far as victims go, we won't get into, at this time, who the victims are or not.
Chase with the Dallas Morning News. Can you describe the injuries suffered by the 3 victims?
So one of the victims, and this is actually in the complaint, and we'll get you a copy as well, there's a photograph of the injury. It looks like there's some abrasions on the neck and arm.
That was the cameraman, chat. They put the 5 deadly finger grip lock on his neck, chat. Damn, boy. Crazy work.
One of the individuals that's been charged has not had his initial appearance yet, but agents are actively working to locate and bring him to court.
And I wanted to touch on that, actually. Eric Bushman with KRLD. Since there's one person you're still trying to get to come in, I guess it's on the request, since it's the initial appearance, you had said that you're trying to work out. Because you're going public with this, are you afraid at all that that's going to hinder it eventually getting another individual in?
Agents are working to find him. The complaint has already been unsealed, and a number of these defendants have had their public hearing already, their initial appearance, and And so it's already out there that this individual has been charged, and so that information is in the public record. But I trust that the agents will be able to identify this person and find them and bring them to justice. Of course, that person can turn themselves in immediately.
2 questions. This is Chase with the Dallas Morning News. So the initial incident happens in January 10th.
Mm-hmm.
We're here in April.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the timeline and the length of time, you know, why we're talking about this now? Because it sounds like these arrests happened recently. And then the second part of that question, did all of the arrests happen yesterday, or were they happening over the span of time that we're talking about?
Yeah, good questions. I'll start with the last part. 8 of the 9 happened yesterday, and then we're still working on one more. And that was, again, a lot of those happened in Memphis, one happened in Nashville, and we're working now with our Georgia counterparts to get the last person brought to justice. Do you want to ask another question, follow up to that?
Actually, I forgot you had 2. Come back to me after you.
Okay, and remind me of your first part, sir.
We had the initial incident on January 10th,
Yep.
here April 2nd. Can you describe and kind of characterize why, you know, that amount of time passed before there were arrests?
Well, that was one of the reasons I wanted to list off some of the evidence that has been uncovered to date. A lot of this was subpoena work, search warrant work, and things like that in order to develop the investigation. And so the agents here with me, the agents out in the field, it takes a little bit of time to identify who did this offense and build a case so that we feel comfortable bringing the charges. So actually that's pretty quickly for a federal case of this gravity and this nature. And so I'm very proud of the investigative work, and it will continue from this office as well as our FBI and our local police department.
If convicted of these charges, these arrests, how serious are these crimes? What do these people face?
They're facing a range, so there's no mandatory minimum in this case. It's a range of punishment, and it'll be in the province of the judge, whoever gets the case. But it could be from 0 all the way to life imprisonment. And as you know, a lot of it will guide what's called the sentencing guidelines, will be the individual's previous criminal history, the fact that one of these individuals committed the offense while on home confinement, so actually serving a federal offense. Assuming that individual is convicted, that will be an aggravating factor for sure.
Real quick, I was curious. I know.
He said from 0 to life, chat. 0 to life. That's a very wide range of numbers to go through. God damn.
You're being quiet so far on the victims here, but could you at least tell us, outside of them being local to Dallas, were they aspiring artists? Are they known locally or even nationally? Can you at least tell us that?
I'm not going to get into the victim stuff at this time. I think that more will be coming out there that will help clarify, but I'm not at liberty at this stage of the investigation to disclose that.
And then can you describe the operation to conduct all of those arrests?
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Double tap that screen for me one time. Y'all send us through that algorithm. Y'all know what's going on.
I'm
Welcome
hand
in.
that one off to my colleague here, Jeremy.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It requires a lot of partnerships across multiple jurisdictions to be able to conduct simultaneous arrests in a manner, you know, to not alert other folks and to do it safely.
His tie ain't even looped in all
so
the
really
way,
it's just
chat.
a coordinated effort. Unfortunately, we have great relationships here locally with Dallas PD and our other partners, as well as other FBI offices have the similar relationships. Memphis is unique. They have the Memphis Safe Task Force there currently, which was kind of a help in a lot of this. So it's really just coordination and pre-planning.
And a follow-up to that. So were all of the arrests in Memphis, or?
No. Memphis, we had one in Frisco, Texas, yesterday morning. The rest were in Memphis. And as the U.S. Attorney said, we're actively pursuing the final arrest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have another question, sir?
Mugshots, is everything out?
We're going to break down the breakdown, chat. You hear me? Appreciate
I think
y'all.
that becomes public record, but I'm not sure. If I could follow up with you right after, Catherine, if you would get to make sure that we get that information over there. Thank you for coming. If there are any further questions, I just want to underscore the importance here in Northern District of Texas of vigorously prosecuting violent crime. And a couple days ago, I did a press conference in in Fort Worth, Texas. But it just highlights the collaboration. The state, local police are some of our best friends and best partners. Chief Como is a dear friend and partner of this office and has been fantastic for us, working with some of the best in the business, the FBI, and I'm just really honored to stand shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in my office. So again, we look forward to prosecuting this case vigorously, and if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Catherine Miller. Thank you.
Wasn't just another rapper trying.
So they came together, y'all. All the states that needed to, the local, FBI, everybody, they band together as one. They was coagulated and came together like Voltron to make sure that they got their man and the whole gang. This is crazy fucking work, chat. He was already in trouble. He just came home. Pooh just came home though, man. Lil Shiesty just came home. Then he jumped out in the field once again. Man. All in all, he could have sent the little homies to bust that funky dope fresh move. He could have stayed out the way. His daddy was there and everything, but yeah, my God. Pressure gonna bust pipes. But hey, you live and you learn, slowly but surely. But a lot of people don't know where this has stemmed from though, where all this has came from. A lot of people just know Pooh robbed Gucci. Now Gucci's telling, and that's it. But we gonna break down the breakdown, chat. We gonna get down to the nitty gritty, if you know what I mean. So we gonna find out what's the what, the who's, and lock this right on in. So on this one right here, pay close attention, all right? Y'all pay close attention. Let's go.
Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane's beef has been going on for a long ass time. From Yo Gotti sleeping with Gucci's wife to now stealing his biggest artist from his label, Pooh Shiesty. But what happened 3 weeks ago in a Dallas recording studio might be the most disrespectful thing that's ever happened in hip-hop history. Picture this, you're one of the most respected OGs in the game, you've built a multi-million-dollar empire, and you've just welcomed your star artist home from federal prison with a post that got 2.3 million likes.
Gosh almighty, 2.3 mil. Look, y'all didn't know. If you don't know, now you know. It's all stemming from Lil Gotti and Gucci. We're gonna break down the breakdown. Let's get to it.
Then, less than 72 hours later, that same artist allegedly puts a gun to your head, takes your wedding ring, the same ring that represents your marriage to the woman
72 hours, chat.
And forces you to sign paperwork releasing
he
him
wasn't
from his
home
contract
72
so he
hours.
can join your biggest rival's label. That's exactly what multiple industry sources are saying happened to Gucci Mane. And if these allegations are true, we're not just talking about another rap beef or label dispute. We're talking about armed robbery, kidnapping, and the most calculated betrayal in recent hip-hop memory. And the craziest part? This whole situation has been building for over a decade. What started as a petty argument about mixtape release dates turned into a personal war involving stolen wives, funeral controversies.
Marriages that's falling apart probably stem from money. You know what I'm saying? When the money funny.
When the money funny.
You can't really focus, everybody go for self.
Memphis street politics,
Lord.
And now allegedly, federal crimes that could send people back to prison for decades. But here's what makes this story even more insane. Gucci Mane should have seen this coming from a mile away. When you sign an artist with Shiesty, literally in his name, you're putting a warning label on your business relationship. And when that artist's biggest loyalty is to the same city as your worst enemy, you're basically asking for trouble.
What's happening about it? But the story...
And they was, look, Gotti and Gucci going back and forth. Gotti had got that on Gucci old lady up in shambles at one point in time. Gucci come to Memphis. That's where Gotti from. That's where Gotti from. He come to Memphis. He signed Shiesty. So it's looking like, okay, he's stepping into Yo Gotti territory. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, let's keep it going and find out what's the what and the who's. Let's go.
That's going around that everybody's scared to report on, and this is just a rumor, is that basically
let's go.
Shiesty and Choppa Gang ran down on Gucci Mane, relieved him of some of his possessions, and basically forced him to sign a contract releasing Pooh Shiesty from 1017.
Under
Stay
duress.
locked in until the end, because I'm about to break down the entire timeline of how Yo Gotti played the longest revenge game in hip-hop history. From sleeping with Gucci Mane's woman while he was locked up, to systematically destroying his Memphis pipeline, to allegedly orchestrating the theft of his biggest star, this is a masterclass in psychological warfare that goes way beyond music.
Indeed. Goes way beyond music, chat. Take a walk with me. Y'all see how it's going down, right? They was going tit-tat back and forth. It's been a long time coming. This has been stemming over almost a decade now. So chat, it's like a lot of times, right? All right, the little homies get into beef over the shit that the big homies already had prior to. You know, a lot of gang warfares and gang shit that's going on. It's not going on because of the fact that the little homies are at war with each other, but it's the fact that the big homie slept with the other big homie girlfriend, and now they are at war with each other. So now that's just trickling on down, and it's going to continue trickling on down to the point where, you know, stuff like this happens. Let's get back to it.
And when I said God was cool until he turned into a buster.
Right.
So I wasn't saying that we wasn't even cool. I said we was cool until this point right here.
Right.
By the time I'm done explaining this, you'll understand exactly why the streets are calling this the most disrespectful finesse in rap history, and why Gucci Mane might never recover from this level of betrayal.
Yeah, Gotti bro hit too. Yeah. Gotti brother, rest in peace. He got hit too. His brother got hit too. But that was due to the Young Dolph situation that's going on. I mean, that they had that's feuding. I mean, that was like that time and era. I mean, yeah, definitely. Let's get back to it, chat.
Before we dive into the chaos that's happening right now, you need to understand the foundation of this beef and why it runs so much deeper than typical rap industry drama. This isn't just about two successful artists who don't like each other. This is about respect, territory, family, and violations that can never be forgiven.
Allegedly.
Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti represent two of the most authentic voices in Southern hip-hop. Both of them came up in the early 2000s when trap music was still underground, when artists had to really live what they rapped about, and when street credibility meant everything. Gucci Mane was building his 1017 empire in Atlanta, creating the blueprint for what trap music would become globally. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti was establishing himself as the undisputed king of Memphis, a city with its own unique sound and street culture. What made their early friendship so genuine was the mutual respect they had for each other's authenticity. Neither one of them was a studio gangster or an industry plant. They had both really lived in the streets, understood the game from the ground up, and were using their music to tell real stories about real experiences. Their collaborations weren't just business moves. They were cultural moments. When they dropped tracks like Mo Money and Bricks, fans could feel the chemistry. These weren't forced features or label-mandated collaborations. This was two legends recognizing each other's greatness and creating music that represented the best of Southern hip-hop. They even took it further with joint mixtapes like
What up, Verse?
G and G Shit. The projects were fire, the streets embraced them.
So chat, prior to all of this, they was getting money together, chat. They was on missions together. They was out busting funky dope fresh moves. You see, they had several mixtapes together. They was on a big collab, man. Little do y'all know, now today's date, it's all in shambles. Shit crazy, man. All the way. Let's get back to it, y'all. Double tap that screen for me one time, man. We here, we ain't going nowhere. Just one tap, you know, boop, boop. Let's lock on in. I appreciate y'all. Come on now.
And it looked like Gucci
push us through
Mane
the algorithm,
and Yo Gotti
chat.
were about
Push
to
us
become
through.
hip-hop's next power duo.
Push us
Industry
through that shit.
insiders were already talking about potential joint tours, more collaborative projects, and the possibility of them creating their own super label. But in hip-hop, friendships can be destroyed by the smallest perceived disrespects. And what happened in October 2012 would prove that even the strongest bonds can be broken when pride and ego get involved. The culture of hip-hop is built on respect, authenticity, and loyalty. When those principles get violated, the consequences can last for decades. And as we're about to see, what started as a simple misunderstanding about release dates would eventually lead to stolen wives, funeral drama, and allegedly armed robbery. October 2012 should have been one of the biggest months in Gucci Mane's career. He had been building anticipation for his new project, Trap God, for weeks, conducting interviews, dropping snippets, and making sure everyone knew that October 17th was going to be a special day. And for Gucci Mane, the 17th wasn't just any random date, it was sacred. See, most people don't understand the significance of the number 17 in Gucci Mane's brand. His label is called 1017 Records, which represents October 17th on the calendar. This date has deep personal meaning for him, and dropping projects on the 17th of any month had become his signature move.
That was his signature thing, chat. That was Gucci's signature thing. He was gonna drop on the 17th. Whichever date that he wanted to choose, whichever month, it was always going to be on the 17th. Remember that, chat. Y'all remember that, okay? That's why the number 1017, October 17th, was the brand label name, and it held so much to Gucci. Let's go.
It was his way of stamping his identity on the culture and creating a brand that was uniquely his.
Called
Gucci
branding
Mane had
and
been
marketing,
promoting
chat.
Trap God
Branding
as
and
his
marketing.
return to form, a project that would remind everyone why he was considered the godfather of trap music. The marketing campaign was in full swing, the features were locked in, and everything was set for what should have been a triumphant release. Then, out of nowhere, Yo Gotti announced that he was also dropping a mixtape on October 17th. Now, according to Gotti's version of events, he knew Gucci Mane was dropping that day, but he thought it would be incredible for both of them to release projects simultaneously. In his mind, they were brothers in the game, so why not dominate the internet together? He envisioned fans going crazy over having new music from both artists on the same day, with both projects complementing each other and creating a moment that would be remembered in hip-hop history. But Gucci Mane saw the situation completely differently. To him, this wasn't collaboration. This was straight-up disrespect and wave riding. Yo Gotti was trying to piggyback off the 1017 brand that Gucci Mane had spent years building. He was
Gosh almighty, chat. So, chat, do y'all think that Yo Gotti did that purposely to try to rake in some extra dollars? You know what I mean? To me, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, but it's just because of the fact that they were locked in. They was locked in. We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and you know what I mean? So it was like, but all in all, they should have came together on a notion like, all right, he should have tapped in with Gooch like, yo, Gooch, I'm trying to drop on a day. I mean, well, how do you feel about that? You know what I mean? Like outside of that, then, but if he did it without reaching out or anything like that matter, man, it might have been a play. Let's get to it, y'all.
attempting to profit off Gucci Mane's marketing campaign and steal thunder that rightfully belonged to Trap God. The moment Gotti's announcement hit the internet, Gucci Mane felt violated.
What up, Rick?
This was his date, his brand, his moment, and his supposed friend was trying to crash the party without permission. Yo Gotti immediately recognized that something was wrong and tried to reach out. He called Gucci Mane's phone multiple times, but the calls went straight to voicemail. He hit up people in Gucci Mane's camp, asking them to have their boss call him back so they could talk through the situation. He even tried reaching out through mutual friends and industry connections, but Gucci Mane was giving him the complete silent treatment. Instead of handling the situation privately, Gucci Mane took his frustration to Twitter, which in 2012 was the primary platform for hip-hop drama. His tweet was short but devastating. Why would another artist put their mixtape out on 1017 if they ain't
Appreciate you, Juan.
You ain't me, Trap God. That tweet changed everything. It wasn't just a private conversation between friends anymore. This was public disrespect that the entire hip-hop community could see. Gucci Mane was essentially calling out Yo Gotti for being fake and trying to ride his wave. Yo Gotti was genuinely confused by the response. He had never intended any disrespect, and he couldn't understand why his friend was reacting so strongly to what he saw as a collaborative opportunity. But recognizing that the situation was escalating, he made the decision to move his release date to October 18th, hoping that would resolve the conflict. But the damage was already done. Gucci Mane felt that the very fact that Gotti had...
Okay, so chat. All right, so all in all, right? He did move the date, chat. Gotti did move the date. He moved the date to the following month. But hey, The damage was already it was already there. I guess the damage of Gucci Mane feeling disrespected was already there. So he probably was looking at him with the side eye after that. Like ever since then, he was hitting him with the mean, with the mean side eye, chat. Let's get back to it.
Announced the same release date showed a fundamental lack of respect for their friendship and his brand.
There we go.
In his mind, a real friend would have called first to discuss the idea, not just announced it publicly and forced him to react. The situation got even more complicated when Gucci Mane brought up another issue that had been bothering him. During a radio interview, he pointed out that Yo Gotti had been working with his enemies, specifically Jeezy and T.I., two artists who Gucci Mane had serious long-standing beef with. Gotti had recently dropped a remix to his Track Racks featuring both Jeezy and T.I., and to Gucci Mane that was another sign of disloyalty. How could someone who claimed to be his friend work so closely with people who had actively tried to destroy his career? But here's where the situation becomes hypocritical. Around the same time, Gucci Mane was working closely with Young Dolph, who happened to be one of Yo Gotti's biggest enemies in Memphis.
Indeed.
So both artists were collaborating with each other's ops. But only Gucci Mane was making it a public issue. The double standard was obvious, but Gucci Mane was too deep in his feelings to see it objectively. He felt betrayed, disrespected, and abandoned by someone he had considered a real friend. Things reached a breaking point when Gucci Mane decided to air out all his grievances during a radio interview. My main problem with him is that he dropped his mixtape on 1017 and tried to ride my wave, Gucci Mane said. Why would you drop it if you ain't on 1017? And when I call you as my partner to ask why you did it, you say, "Oh, I didn't know you were dropping a mixtape." Gucci Mane wasn't buying Gotti's explanation at all. He had been promoting Trap God for months, doing interviews, posting on social media, and making it clear that October 17th was going to be a major moment. There was no way someone as connected as Yo Gotti didn't know about the release date. The public nature of Gucci Mane's complaints made reconciliation almost impossible. Once you air out your problems with someone on the radio, it becomes about more than just the original issue.
Exactly. Once it hits the net, once it hits the radio, chat, like, it is what it is, ain't what it ain't, because those things could have been discussed between you and I as grown men. You know what I mean? Like, at an all-time high. If you're my brother, if you're my brethren, if you're my homie, and you got a problem with me, don't go to no internet. If you go to the internet first before you reach out to me, then it's just that, and I don't have anything else to say about it, and I just leave it where it's at. And I leave you where you at. And that's that. Because of the fact that we supposed to have a much stronger bond in that dog, you can call me, you can reach out to me, you got my number, you got my email, you know where I be at. Like, you can tap in with me. But no, you want to go to the net like a little female. No, that's not what we do. Lane, what up? Well, I appreciate everybody for being here in the chat, man. Y'all double tap me up one time. We gonna get down to this nitty gritty, y'all. My brother, you didn't miss a whole lot. You just missed the prequel. The prequel was look, the Pooh Shiesty, Rob Gucci, but little does everyone know it goes way deeper than that. This all started prior to with Yo Gotti. You know what I mean? So we locking this in and we getting it going. So you came in right on time. A couple of details you might have missed that Yo Gotti slept with Gucci Mane's old lady. They was going back and forth about artists, signing artists, this and that and the third. So now we are right here. Now you all caught up. Appreciate everybody for being here. Double tap that screen for me one time, chat. Appreciate y'all. Let's get back to it.
It becomes about pride, reputation, and who's going to back down first. Once Gucci Mane took the beef public through that radio interview, there was no going back to the friendship they once had. The hip-hop community was watching, fans were picking sides, and both artists felt pressure to defend their positions through the most traditional method in rap culture, diss tracks. Gucci Mane struck first with a song called Birds of a Feather, which was essentially a multi-target diss track aimed at several people who had disappointed him. But the line that hit Yo Gotti the hardest was, "I used to mess with Gotti until he turned into a buster." In hip-hop terminology, calling someone a buster is one of the most disrespectful things you can say. It implies that they're fake, weak, and not really about the life they rap about. For someone like Yo Gotti, who had built his entire career on authenticity and street credibility, being called a buster by a respected peer was devastating. The song didn't just attack Gotti's character, it questioned his entire identity as an artist and a man. Gucci Mane was essentially telling the world that he had misjudged Yo Gotti's character and that their friendship had been based on false pretenses. Yo Gotti's initial response showed just how much the diss had hurt him personally. In interviews, he expressed genuine disappointment rather than anger. "I'm more disappointed in him than anything because I looked at him different," Gotti said. "What I perceived in him is not what he's playing out. I thought he was a straight-up stand-up guy, street-type dude, and street dudes don't handle business like that." This response revealed something supposedly about their relationship. Allegedly. It wasn't just a business partnership that had gone wrong. These were two men who had genuinely respected and cared about each other, which made the betrayal feel even more personal. Gotti went on to explain that even people in Gucci Mane's own camp were confused by the diss. "Even the dudes in Gucci's camp don't understand why he was dissing me on the record," he said. This
verse, I'll learn you right quick. I don't know what type of phone you have or whatever the case may be. Let me see. Hold on. So I can get you right quick, verse. All right, look. Pop in. Double tap. All you got to do is double tap. That's all. You see how I did that verse? You just got to double tap. That's all. Appreciate you. Much love and respect. Always. Thank you, my brother. Let's get back to it, chat.
Suggested that the beef wasn't based on any real wrongdoing, but rather on Gucci Mane's perception of disrespect. Initially, Yo Gotti tried to take the high road. He was hurt, disappointed, and confused, but he didn't want to escalate the situation into a full-blown rap war. He had too much respect for what they had built together, and he hoped that
That's when Gucci was fat, too, on his burgers and shakes, you know what I mean? And lean. Gosh, oh my.
Heads would eventually prevail. But as the weeks went by and Gucci Mane continued to take shots in interviews and on social media, Gotti realized that his former friend wasn't interested in reconciliation. The disrespect had become too public and too personal to ignore. Finally, Yo Gotti decided he had to respond. He dropped a diss track called Have Mercy, which was his way of defending his reputation and firing back at Gucci Mane's accusations. The song was hard, direct, and made it clear that their friendship was officially over. Have Mercy didn't just respond to Gucci Mane's disses. It questioned his motives and suggested that he was acting out of jealousy rather than legitimate grievances. Gotti...
They was on they call Thomas. So emotional, chat. Gave me reasons to believe that we will always be in the streets. But now I see. You hear me, chat? I was wrong. You hear me? Oh, my stars. Let's go.
Painted Gucci Mane as someone who couldn't handle seeing his friends succeed independently.
Mike, what up?
The exchange of diss tracks
Appreciate you,
marked
my guy.
the point of no return in their relationship. What had started as a misunderstanding about release dates had now become a public rap beef with both artists' reputations on the line. But even at this stage, the beef was still relatively contained. It was about business, respect, and artistic differences. Neither artist could have predicted how personal and destructive things were about to become. The hip-hop community was divided in their reactions. Some fans felt that Gucci Mane was overreacting to what seemed like a minor issue. Others supported his position that Yo Gotti should have shown more respect for the 1017 brand and asked permission before dropping on the same date. Industry insiders were disappointed to see two of the South's biggest stars feuding over what seemed like a resolvable conflict. Many people tried to play peacemaker behind the scenes, but both artists were too proud to back down. What nobody realized at the time was that this public beef was just the beginning. The real betrayal, the one that would make reconciliation impossible, was still to come. Just when it seemed like the beef between Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti might eventually blow over, Gotti dropped a bombshell during a Breakfast Club interview that would change everything forever. What he revealed wasn't just another diss or business dispute, it was a personal violation so deep that it would haunt their relationship for over a decade. During the interview, Yo Gotti casually mentioned that while Gucci Mane was locked up on a probation violation, he had slept with Gucci Mane's girlfriend, Keisha Ka-Oyer. The way he said it was almost matter-of-fact, like it was just another part of the story that needed to be told. But for anyone who understands street culture and the unwritten rules of loyalty, what Gotti had just admitted to was unforgivable. There are certain lines you don't cross in the streets, and messing with someone's woman while they're locked up and can't defend themselves is definitely one of them. Now, it's important to understand the context of Gucci Mane and Keisha's relationship at the time. They weren't married yet, but they had serious history.
Gosh almighty, chat. That man then went and put thwink all up in this man's old lady. He was on a big revenge tactics, man, which is crazy work. Like all of the above crazy work. I know he was hurt because Gucci Mane was behind that G-wall, and the last thing a man want to hear is that his old lady is getting hit by one of his friends turned enemies, you know? So let's see how this worked out for him. Let's go.
Together. Keishia had been in Gucci Mane's life for years, and everyone in their circle knew she was his woman. She wasn't just some random girl. She was someone Gucci Mane genuinely cared about and saw a future with. When Gucci Mane got locked up, Keishia was supposed to hold him down, visit him, and wait for him to come home.
Yes,
that's
Sandra.
The expectation in street relationships.
I'm about to say, exactly. Just like Marcus said, Sandra, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. But I would say that the loyalty should have been more upstanding to Keisha to Gucci instead of Gotti to Gucci. But you know, all in all, it takes two to tango. Let's go.
Loyalty during the hardest times. Instead, she ended up with his friend, someone who was supposed to respect their relationship and look out for Gucci Mane while he was away. Yo Gotti tried to downplay the situation during the interview, saying things like, "That's the expectation in street relationships. Loyalty during the hardest times."
That's it.
Instead, she
loyalty
ended up with
over
his
royalty.
friend, someone who was supposed to respect their relationship and look out for Gucci Mane while he was away. Yo Gotti tried to downplay the situation during the interview, saying things like, "I know you in love and all that. You know how the game go, and I ain't no like you about to get married or nothing like that." But these explanations just made it worse because they showed a casual attitude about violating his friend's relationship. The "you know how the game go" comment was particularly disrespectful because it suggested that sleeping with your friend's girl while he's locked up is just normal behavior that everyone should accept. But that's not how the game goes for real friends. Real friends protect each other's relationships and respect boundaries even when the other person isn't around to enforce them. What made the betrayal even worse was the timing.
Hope
Gucci
everything's
Mane
good
was
your
going
way.
through one of the most difficult periods of his life. He was locked up, facing serious legal issues, dealing with addiction problems, and struggling with his mental health. During this vulnerable time when he needed his friends the most, the two people he trusted, his girlfriend and his friend, betrayed him in the worst possible way.
Yeah, Nicole.
When Gucci Mane found out about the betrayal, it sent him into a complete spiral. He was already struggling with lean addiction and mental health issues, but this news pushed him over the edge completely. The combination of betrayal, humiliation, and powerlessness created a perfect storm that would nearly destroy his life. Gucci Mane's reaction was immediate and chaotic. He went on Twitter rants that lasted for hours, attacking not just Yo Gotti and Keishia, but anyone he felt had wronged him. He started beefing with multiple artists simultaneously. Jeezy, T.I., and even Drake and Nicki Minaj got caught in the crossfire of his rage. The tweets were erratic, sometimes incoherent, and clearly coming from someone who was not in a stable mental state.
Yeah, because Gucci was going through it, chat, all the way. Gucci was having some mental breakdowns. He was struggling. He had just dropped, just came home. Y'all know he was addicted to that lean real heavy, chat. You know what I mean? So, like, he's not in his right state of mind. He wants to get back at it, and he's like, nah. But all in all, he got his homeboy that he was getting money with turn against him. He got his girlfriend that was supposed to hold him down, be loyal to him, turn against him. He got everybody else that he's thinking that's around him in his zone turn against him. So it's like he had his back against the wall and he didn't know which way to go. So he started taking shots at everybody. Anybody gonna catch it straight. That's how he felt. Let's get back to it, chat.
Gucci Mane was lashing out at the world because he felt like everyone had betrayed him. The lean addiction was making his behavior more unpredictable, and the betrayal was eating away at his ability to think clearly. His behavior became so concerning that friends and family started to worry about his safety. On September 13th, 2013, Gucci Mane was hanging out with a friend when he started acting so erratically that his friend called the police for a wellness check. When the officers arrived, Gucci Mane was belligerent and threatening, which led to his arrest. During the arrest, police found weed and a gun on him, which created new legal problems on top of everything else he was dealing with. Sources close to the situation reported that Gucci Mane was hospitalized after the arrest because he was having seizures related to his lean addiction. The situation continued to deteriorate over the following months. Gucci Mane's behavior became increasingly unpredictable.
Yeah, Nicole.
His music suffered.
You know
and his
Gucci gonna put
business
something up.
relationships were falling apart. By December 2013, he was facing federal firearms charges as a convicted felon, which carried a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison. The irony of the situation was devastating. Yo Gotti's betrayal had set off a chain of events that was destroying Gucci Mane's life, career, and freedom. The man who had violated his relationship was thriving while Gucci Mane was facing decades in prison. In 2014, Gucci Mane accepted a plea deal that would keep him behind bars until late 2016. For someone who had been at the top of the rap game just a few years earlier, this represented a complete fall from grace. And at the root of it all was the betrayal by two people he had trusted completely. But here's the most shocking part of the story. When Gucci Mane got out of prison in 2016, he took Keisha back. Not only did he take her back, but he married her, making her Mrs. Gucci Mane. The woman who had betrayed him during his lowest moment became his wife.
So no. Why on earth he would have did that? My only thing to say about that, chat, is that Keisha, she might have known too much information. That's all. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Like, she might have known too much information, and he was like, "All right, I gotta marry this lady," and that's the way it go. But yeah, the old Gucci, he would have terrorized everybody, their mama, the kids, whatever. Gucci was a big threat in his older days, in his younger days, I should say. Let's get back to it, chat. Gosh almighty.
Some people saw this as forgiveness and growth. Others saw it as a man who was so broken by the betrayal that he was willing to overlook the ultimate disrespect for the sake of love. But regardless of how people interpreted it, the marriage sent a clear message. Gucci Mane was willing to forgive Keisha, but he would never forgive Yo Gotti. Prison changed Gucci Mane in ways that nobody expected. When he went in, he was a lean-addicted, mentally unstable artist whose career was in shambles. When he came out in 2016, he was clean, focused, and had a completely different approach to life and business. But while he had learned to control his emotions and make better decisions, he hadn't forgotten what Yo Gotti had done to him. The old Gucci Mane.
Lane says, is this from back in the day, or just now, coming up now in 2026? Now, this is what stemmed up to what just happened between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane. Gotta catch on up, Lane. You gotta catch on up. This is, going from why did everything like this take place? What stemmed the behavior and actions of such? Let's get back to it.
Might have responded to betrayal with violence or chaotic social media rants. The new Gucci Mane was much more calculated and strategic in his approach to revenge. Instead of trying to destroy Yo Gotti directly, he decided to hit him where it would hurt the most: his hometown dominance and his pipeline of new talent. Memphis has always been a hotbed of rap talent,
knew
with
too
a
much
unique
information,
sound and
Nicole,
culture
indeed.
that produces some of the most authentic artists in hip-hop. For years, Yo Gotti had been the primary gateway for Memphis artists trying to make it in the national music industry. His CMG, Collective Music Group label, was the most successful Memphis-based operation, and he had essentially created a monopoly on the city's hip-hop talent. Young Memphis artists looked up to Yo Gotti as the example of what was
Evans.
possible.
Much love.
He had stayed true to his city, built his empire from the ground up, and proved that you didn't have to leave Memphis to achieve national success. This gave him incredible influence over the next generation of Memphis rappers, who saw signing with CMG as the ultimate validation of their talent. But Gucci Mane saw an opportunity to disrupt this system and get his revenge at the same time. He started actively recruiting Memphis artists, offering them better deals, more resources, and access to a larger platform than they could get by staying local. It was a calculated move designed to undermine Yo Gotti's influence in his own city while strengthening 1017's roster. According to Memphis insider Stan G, who broke down the situation during a No Jumper interview, Gucci Mane was using war tactics in his beef with Yo Gotti. Every time he'd get into it with somebody, he locked the city down, Stan G explained. He got into it with Jeezy, locked down Atlanta by signing everybody in Atlanta, got into it with Gotti, signed the whole Memphis. This wasn't just business, this was psychological warfare. Gucci Mane was systematically trying to drain Memphis of its talent, leaving Yo Gotti with fewer options and less influence in his own backyard. Every Memphis artist who signed with 1017 was a direct shot at Gotti's pride and his business model. The strategy was brilliant because it served multiple purposes. First, it gave Gucci Mane access to some of the most authentic and talented artists in the South. Memphis rap.
The key, 22, you just got in here. You should have came a little bit earlier, then you would have saw the facts that was already dropped. When Gucci Mane was mad at his old lady for doing what she did with Yo Gotti. And also it says, Pooh situation ain't got nothing to do with God. Indeed it does, because this is the backstory of why I even went to this level. You got to know the backstory to even know what's going on. Why would Gucci Mane be in Memphis signing Memphis artists when he got the A on? Come on now, you got to know the backstory. Tap in, listen, learn a couple of things. That's all. You'll be all right. Let's get to it.
Brought a raw, unfiltered energy that complemented 1017's trap sound perfectly. Second, it weakened Yo Gotti's position in his own city, making it harder for him to maintain his status as the king of Memphis hip-hop. But most importantly, it was a form of revenge that was completely legal and business-focused. Gucci Mane wasn't breaking any laws or putting himself at risk. He was just offering better opportunities to talented artists. If those artists chose to leave Memphis for Atlanta, that was their decision. The plan worked better than anyone expected. Gucci Mane successfully signed multiple Memphis artists to 1017, including Big Scar, Enchanting, and most importantly,
talk to him,
starting to make serious noise
They're not
in the streets,
understanding.
Pooh Shiesty. Each signing was like a chess move in Gucci Mane's long-term strategy. He wasn't just building his roster. He was systematically dismantling Yo Gotti's empire one artist at a time. And the beauty of it was that he was doing it with Gotti's own hometown talent. The Memphis hip-hop community was divided by Gucci Mane's aggressive recruitment tactics. Some artists and fans felt that he was an outsider trying to exploit their city's talent for his own benefit. Others saw him as offering opportunities that weren't available locally and felt that artists should go wherever they could get the best deals. Yo Gotti couldn't publicly complain about the situation without looking weak or hypocritical. After all, he had built his own career by leaving Memphis artists behind when better opportunities came along. How could he criticize other artists for making the same choice? But privately, the systematic poaching of Memphis talent had to be incredibly frustrating. Gotti was watching his city's best artists choose Atlanta over Memphis, 1017 over CMG, and Gucci Mane over him. It was a slow-motion destruction of everything he had built in his hometown. The psychological impact of Gucci Mane's strategy was probably even more damaging than the business impact. Every time a Memphis artist signed with 1017, it was a reminder of the betrayal that had started this whole war. Gotti couldn't escape
the Flipper, scripper, you heard me? Yeah, we agree with you, Jiz, you heard me? I'm talking about my homie. Yo homie was, that's your homie, not you. That's your homie. It won't you. You can't sit and say no facts about anything. That's your homie, not you. Now, if you would have came in here earlier and saw the facts that was already played, then you would know, oh, okay, they're going back and forth because they was feuding with each other. Now, if you just sit, watch, cool off, get your water intake, and I mean, you might be dehydrated a little bit, you hear me? You might just be a little bit dehydrated. I'll take a sip for you, you hear me? You'll be all right, you hear me? All of the day's work, that's all.
Consequences of sleeping with Gucci Mane's woman because those consequences were playing out in real time through his city's music scene. Gucci Mane's revenge plot was working perfectly, but he was about to make a crucial mistake. In his eagerness to hurt Yo Gotti, he would sign an artist whose loyalty to Memphis would eventually trump his loyalty to 1017.
There you
that
go.
Artist's name was Pooh Shiesty.
There
when
you
Gucci
go.
Mane first heard about Pooh Shiesty, he knew immediately that this was exactly the type of artist who could help him dominate Memphis hip-hop. Pooh Shiesty wasn't just another rapper trying to make it. He was someone whose name was already ringing bells in Memphis for all the right and wrong reasons. Born Lontrell Williams, Pooh Shiesty had that raw, authentic street energy that reminded people of early Gucci Mane. He wasn't trying to be pretty with his bars or create radio-friendly music. He was telling real stories about real situations, and that authenticity was exactly what caught Gucci Mane's attention. But Pooh Shiesty wasn't some unknown kid when Gucci Mane discovered him. He already had a buzz in Memphis, already had people talking about his potential, and already had the kind of street credibility that you can't fake or manufacture. What he needed was someone with the industry connections and experience to take him to the next level. The story of how Gucci Mane discovered Pooh Shiesty is actually pretty wild. People who knew both the music game and the street game were telling Gucci about this young cat from Memphis who had bars and credibility. When Gucci finally heard Pooh's music, he knew immediately that this was someone special. The raw talent was undeniable, but more than that, Pooh had that authentic street perspective that you can't fake. In a game full of industry plants and manufactured personas, Pooh Shiesty was the real deal. He had lived the life he was rapping about, and that authenticity came through in every bar. The signing process wasn't some long, drawn-out negotiation. When Gucci Mane wants someone on his team, he moves fast and decisively. He reached out to Pooh directly, and the conversation was straightforward. Gucci saw the potential, Pooh needed the platform, and 1017 needed that Memphis energy. For Pooh Shiesty, signing with Gucci Mane was like hitting the lottery. He went from being a local Memphis artist with limited resources to being part of one of the most respected labels in hip-hop. Suddenly, he had access to top producers, major industry connections, and the full weight of 1017 behind his career. But this wasn't just a business transaction for Gucci Mane. He genuinely took Pooh under his wing, treating him like family rather than just another artist on the roster. Gucci gave him access to his personal network, included him in high-profile collaborations, and made sure he understood the business side of the music industry. The early days.
And that's where a lot of artists get a lot of things tangled and twisted. Y'all think everything's glitz and glamour till y'all get in a 360 deal and you can't do nothing about it. Then you're stuck on stupid for the rest of your career and you're not even getting any funds about the situation. But guess who's reaping the funds? The one who signed you. Y'all gotta know is bigger things that goes on just besides you, okay, I'm getting a $20,000 front fee off the, okay, whatever the case may be. Y'all artists, some of y'all artists need to take the time, study the business, learn the business, and then move accordingly. And then you'll be able to move how you need to move. You get your ass cap, you get your different things of that nature, then you might not even want to go and get signed to a major artist, a major label. You might just want to stay independent because now you know how to move about, you know how to get everything in order. But hey, that's another thing for another dollar, man. Come on.
Of their relationship seemed perfect. Gucci Mane was the veteran mentor who had been through everything and could guide Pooh through the pitfalls of the industry. Pooh Shiesty was the hungry student who was grateful for the opportunity and eager to prove himself worthy of Gucci's investment. Together, they were making music that had both the streets and the industry paying attention. Pooh's debut single Under 1017 was an instant hit, racking up millions of views and establishing him as one of the most promising new artists in hip-hop. The chemistry between mentor and student was obvious, and it looked like they were building something special. Gucci Mane promoted Pooh Shiesty heavily, featuring him on high-profile projects and making sure he got maximum exposure. The So Icy Summer, which featured multiple 1017 artists, gave Pooh a platform to showcase his talent alongside established stars. His verse on So Icy Boys 2 was particularly impressive, showing that he could hold his own with anyone on the roster. The success was immediate and undeniable. Pooh Shiesty's music videos were getting tens of millions of views, his streaming numbers were impressive, and he was being mentioned alongside the hottest young rappers in the game. For someone who had been relatively unknown just months earlier, the rise was meteoric. But success in hip-hop often comes with a price, and for Pooh Shiesty, that price would be his freedom. Just as his career was taking off, he caught a federal case that would put everything on pause. The charges were serious, firearms violations that could result in significant prison time, and suddenly the promising young artist was facing the possibility of spending his prime years behind bars. For most artists, this would have been the end of the story. Labels often drop artists who get into legal trouble, especially federal cases that could result in long sentences. The business is too risky and the investment too uncertain for most executives to stick with artists who might not be able to work for years. But Gucci Mane isn't most label executives. Having been through his own legal troubles and federal case, he understood what Pooh was going through. More importantly, he believed in Pooh's talent and potential enough to stick with him through the difficult times. Throughout Pooh Shiesty's incarceration, Gucci Mane kept his name alive in ways that went above and beyond typical label support. He would mention Pooh in interviews, post about him on social media, and make sure people didn't forget about the young Memphis rapper. This kind of loyalty from a label boss is extremely rare in the industry, and it showed how much Gucci Mane believed in Pooh's potential. The support wasn't just public relations, it was personal. Gucci Mane understood the psychological impact of being forgotten while locked up, and he made sure Pooh knew that he still had a place in the 1017 family when he came home. When Pooh Shiesty finally got released, Gucci Mane was one of the first people to welcome him home publicly. The Instagram post was genuine and heartfelt, Gucci expressing how proud he was of his artist and how excited he was to get back to making music together.
Get back to that
the
money.
post got over 2 million likes and reminded the hip-hop world that Pooh Shiesty was back and ready to pick up where he left off. But something had changed during Pooh's time away. The young artist who had gone to prison grateful and loyal to Gucci Mane was coming home with different priorities and different loyalties, and those changes would soon destroy everything they had built together. While Pooh Shiesty was locked up, tragedy struck the 1017 family in a way that would have lasting consequences for everyone involved. Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty's cousin and one of Gucci Mane's most successful artists, passed away from an accidental overdose in 2022. The loss hit everyone hard, but it also created a situation that would damage relationships and plant seeds of resentment that would eventually grow into betrayal. Big Scar wasn't just another artist on the 1017 roster. He was family to Pooh Shiesty and had become like family to Gucci Mane as well. His death was devastating for everyone who knew him, but it was especially hard for Pooh Shiesty, who was locked up and couldn't be there for his cousin's final moments or funeral. When it came time to arrange Big Scar's...
So yeah, chat. 1017 artist, signed by Gucci. Big Scar, which was Pooh Shiesty's baby cuz. He ended up getting into this little thing, passing away, and emotions started flaring. Just in case y'all didn't know, now you know. Let's get it.
Funeral, Gucci Mane stepped up in a way that seemed to show genuine care and respect for his fallen artist. According to Big Scar's father, the funeral expenses were already covered by insurance, but Gucci Mane called and offered to pay for the entire service himself. This gesture appeared to be coming from the heart. Gucci Mane wanted to honor Big Scar's memory and show the family that their son had meant something to him beyond just business. For a label owner to offer to pay for an artist's funeral is a significant gesture that goes well beyond contractual obligations. The family accepted Gucci Mane's offer, thinking it showed how much he cared about Big Scar and respected their loss. They were grateful for the support during such a difficult time, and it seemed like Gucci Mane was doing everything right to honor his artist's memory. But there was a miscommunication about the financial arrangements that would later cause serious problems. Gucci Mane sent $10,000 toward the funeral costs, and Atlantic Records, 1017's distribution partner, sent another $10,000, totaling $20,000. However, some family members had understood that Gucci Mane would cover the entire cost of the funeral, which was apparently more than the $20,000 that was sent. The confusion might have been resolved quietly if not for what happened next. During Big Scar's funeral, his brother and father were wearing 1017 chains that Big Scar had earned during his time with the label. These chains weren't just jewelry, they were symbols of Big Scar's success and his place in the 1017 family. The family filmed tribute videos during the funeral, showing off the chains and talking about how Big Scar had left his brother with diamonds and left his pops with diamonds. For them, these chains represented some of the last tangible connections they had to their son and brother. But then, according to Big Scar's sister, Gucci Mane asked for the chains back. The request was devastating to the family. In their minds, Big Scar had earned those chains through his hard work and success. They were rightfully his, and by extension, they belonged to his family after his death. The idea that Gucci Mane would ask for them back during their time of grief felt incredibly disrespectful. Big Scar's sister took to social media to express her anger and disappointment. "On my mama, he not getting them chains back," she posted. "Before anyone get to speaking on some stuff they don't know about, yes, he asked for the chains back, and no, he not getting them back. My brother earned this stuff. My brother mean everything to us, and for him to do him like that is low down as hell." She went even further, claiming that Gucci Mane had said he couldn't pay for the funeral because his wife's birthday coming up. Whether this was true or not, the accusation painted Gucci Mane as someone who prioritized his wife's birthday over honoring his dead artist. Nicole says, so was the chains rented? Now
Now that I'm not sure of it. It might have been. See, when it comes to the business, a lot of times artists get a lot of those chains, watches, and jewelry on a rented retention fee. You know what I mean? And throughout the contract, it's slowly but surely paid off. So I'm not sure if that was the reason that I look at it. To me, I look at it like I stuck between a rock and a hard place because the family was feeling like he earned the chains because he was signed to 1017. But all in all, if the chains wasn't even technically paid for, and it's his business, part of his business, he had all rights to get the chains. But do I feel like he should have took the little chain back? I feel like he should have let him at least with, like we see right now, he has on 3 chains. He could have let him keep one chain, let the family keep one chain, you know, and then everything else needs to be recouped. Everything has to be recouped. That's what probably Gucci was looking at it as a business point of view, business standpoint. But you know, different strokes for different folks, man. Let's get back to it, chat.
The situation exploded on social media, with Big Scar's family publicly accusing Gucci Mane of being cheap, disrespectful, and fake. The narrative that emerged was that Gucci Mane had promised to pay for the funeral, failed to follow through, and then had the audacity to ask for jewelry back from a grieving family. Gucci Mane's wife, Keishia Kawar, immediately responded by posting receipts showing the $20,000 that had been sent to the funeral home. The receipts proved that money had been contributed, contradicting the claims that Gucci Mane had refused to pay anything. Big Scar's father eventually stepped in to clarify the situation and defend Gucci Mane. He confirmed that $20,000 had been sent, $10,000 from Gucci, $10,000 from Atlantic Records, and thanked Gucci Mane for his contribution. He also made it clear that certain family members had spoken out of turn and that he appreciated everything Gucci Mane had done for his son. First of all, shout-outs to Atlantic Records. Gucci, I send shout-outs to him too. He might not like it, but I got to give my boy what he did, man. He gave my son a major chance. Can't let you throw that dude under the bus like that. Come on now. The truth is the truth, Big Scar's father said. Big Scar's brother also made a public apology to Gucci Mane, acknowledging that he had done his part and expressing regret for how the situation had been handled. But he also maintained his disappointment that Gucci Mane hadn't attended the funeral,
what did do, my brother?
I know my brother would have wanted you at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? He loved you, bro. The absence at the funeral was another point of contention. Despite paying for part of the service, Gucci Mane didn't actually attend Big Scar's funeral. For the family, this felt like another sign that he didn't really care about their son beyond the business relationship. While the financial and attendance issues were eventually clarified, the chain situation remained unresolved and continued to cause resentment. From the family's perspective, asking for the chains back was the most hurtful part of the entire situation. These weren't just pieces of jewelry. They were symbols of Big Scar's achievements and some of the last things the family had to remember him by. For Pooh Shiesty, watching this situation unfold from prison was incredibly painful and eye-opening. This was his cousin, his family, and he felt like Gucci Mane had disrespected them during their time of grief. The man he had looked up to as a mentor and father figure was asking for jewelry back from his grieving relatives. The funeral controversy planted seeds of doubt in Pooh Shiesty's mind about Gucci Mane's character and priorities. In his view, a real boss would have handled the situation differently. A real boss wouldn't have asked for chains back from a grieving family regardless of the business implications. This situation would prove to be the turning point.
So, like they just said, it was business. The chains was asked back because of business implications. So, yes, the chains was rented in the package deal. I'm guessing Gucci was just going about it as a businessman. He's running a business and he had to recoup. Like, he's looking at it like, okay, it's being spent $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, but he was probably looking at like, I need to recoup some of these funds back. I can't just let that go because it's a part of the business deal that went on. But the family is taking it as personal, but Gucci was looking at it as it was a business. You know what I mean? I understand both sides, you know? So let's get back to it, chat.
in their relationship. When Pooh Shiesty eventually came home from prison, he would remember how Gucci Mane had treated his family during their darkest hour. And that memory would influence every decision he made about his future with 1017. When Pooh Shiesty was released from federal prison, the hip-hop world was watching to see how he would restart his career. Gucci Mane had kept his name alive during his incarceration, and there was genuine excitement about what they would create together now that Pooh was free. But for those paying close attention, the signs that something was wrong were there from the very beginning. The first red flag was subtle but significant. Instead of immediately reconnecting with Gucci Mane and the 1017 team, Pooh Shiesty started gravitating toward Memphis connections, specifically toward Yo Gotti and the CMG family. For someone who had been locked up for years, his first instinct should have been to reconnect with the people who had supported him. Instead, he seemed more interested in rebuilding relationships in his hometown.
What up, Big
The most
K?
obvious sign came through social media, which in today's hip-hop culture is often more revealing than any interview or official statement. Pooh Shiesty started posting about Yo Gotti, showing love to CMG artists, and generally acting like someone who was more aligned with Memphis than Atlanta. In hip-hop, public displays of loyalty matter enormously. When an artist signed to one label starts showing love to a rival label owner, it sends a clear message about where their true allegiances lie. And Pooh Shiesty's social media activity was sending all the wrong messages if he was supposed to be a loyal 1017 artist. But the most telling post came when Pooh Shiesty made a statement thanking only two people for supporting him during his release, his father and his videographer. The post read, "His dad and his cameraman, the only two in the world that gave me something on my release. No label, no family, no rap dudes or rap bitches, no friends, no homies, not even a nigga on trade day, and I ain't never told. Went like a hoe, not put on, not..."
Exactly, Sandra. There are no family regarding business. If they are your family, they would never ask for a discount. You're exactly right, but they don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand it because they want to feel like, okay, because you are related to them, you know, I need a discount. Whatever that you do, you could be selling waters for $1, but because you didn't give it to them for 75 cents, they'll go down the street and get it from the next person for $3. You know what I mean? Just to say, you didn't give me a discount, so I went. That's not genuine support. And if that's what the case, I don't want it. Y'all can keep it. Let's go.
Keep it real. Not stand on business. Ain't let shit slide. This post was devastating for multiple reasons. First, it directly contradicted the narrative that Gucci Mane had supported him throughout his incarceration. Second, it suggested that Pooh felt abandoned by everyone in the industry, including his own label. Third, it showed a level of bitterness and resentment that indicated serious problems beneath the surface. The no-label comment was particularly damaging because it suggested that 1017 hadn't done anything to support him during his release. This was objectively false. Gucci Mane had posted about his release, welcomed him home publicly, and continued to promote him as a 1017 artist. But Pooh's perception was clearly different from reality. Meanwhile, other artists were showing Pooh Shiesty more love than his own label seemed to be providing. Big 30, who was signed to Moneybagg Yo under Yo Gotti's CMG umbrella, was there in person to greet Pooh when he got out of prison. The optics were terrible. Gucci Mane gave his artist an Instagram post, while Yo Gotti's people showed up in person. But Big 30 didn't stop at just being present for Pooh's release. He also gave him a welcome home gift that made headlines throughout the hip-hop community, $200,000 in cash. The gesture was captured on video and posted on social media, showing Big 30 handing Pooh Shiesty multiple stacks of money as a welcome home present. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. Here was an artist from Yo Gotti's camp giving Pooh Shiesty more tangible support than he was apparently getting from his own label. The $200,000 gift wasn't just generous. It was a statement about who really had Pooh's back. Big 30 followed up the cash gift with a social media post that seemed designed to highlight the loyalty and support that Pooh was getting from the Memphis/CMG side. He thanked Pooh for his loyalty and support during their own personal struggles, writing, "I can't thank you enough for helping me sober up and get that monkey off my back. I got to give you your flowers in public because you'll never brag on being yourself." The post continued, "And that's a real dude. Shout out to God. He gave us another chance to take over 100 Infinity. Nobody got my back like my dog. Everything I said about you, blood. Pooh Shiesty, # creating more opportunities." The creating more opportunities hashtag was particularly interesting because it suggested that new opportunities were being discussed. Opportunities that might not involve 1017.
Indeed. And that right there put a damper inside inside Gooch, because he was like, new opportunities. What new opportunities? And all the opportunities you need right here with 1017. Let's get back to it, chat.
Another concerning sign was the music Pooh Shiesty was releasing. Instead of songs that showed growth, maturity, or lessons learned from his federal case, he dropped tracks like FDL, where he was still talking about riding around with guns and living the street life. This wasn't the behavior of someone who had learned from their mistakes or was trying to stay out of trouble. The fact that he was still glorifying the same lifestyle that had gotten him locked up in the first place suggested that federal prison hadn't changed his mindset at all. For Gucci Mane, who had used his own prison experience as motivation to change his life completely, this had to be disappointing and concerning. But perhaps the most telling sign was what Pooh Shiesty wasn't doing. He wasn't posting about 1017, wasn't showing love to Gucci Mane, and wasn't acting like someone who was grateful for the support he had received during his incarceration. Instead, he seemed resentful, bitter, and more interested in Memphis connections than Atlanta loyalty. Industry insiders who were paying attention could see that the relationship between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane was deteriorating rapidly. The question wasn't whether they would have problems.
Marcus,
it was how those problems would manifest and how destructive they would become. Unfortunately, the answer to that question would prove to be more shocking and violent than anyone could have predicted. What allegedly happened next sounds like something out of a crime movie, but according to multiple sources in the hip-hop community, the truth is even more shocking than fiction. The story that has been circulating through industry insiders, bloggers, and street sources is that Pooh Shiesty didn't just leave 1017. He allegedly robbed Gucci Mane at gunpoint to force his release from the label.
He wasn't gonna let him
the
on that
alleged
contract.
incident reportedly took place at a recording studio in Dallas, where Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane had arranged to meet and discuss their business relationship. According to sources, what was supposed to be a conversation about Pooh's future with 1017 turned into something much more sinister. The story, as it's been told by various sources who claim to have inside knowledge, goes like this. Pooh Shiesty came to the meeting with some rolling 60s Crips from his circle. The conversation started normally, but quickly became heated as Pooh expressed his frustrations about the Big Scar situation, his treatment by the label, and his desire to explore other opportunities. According to the allegations, when Gucci Mane refused to release Pooh from his contract, or when the conversation went in a direction Pooh didn't like, the situation escalated dramatically. Sources claim that Pooh's associates pulled guns on Gucci Mane and his security team, creating a hostage situation in the studio. The most shocking part of the allegations is what happened next. Sources claim that Gucci Mane was forced to give up his personal jewelry, including his watch and his wedding ring. The same wedding ring that represents his marriage to the woman Yo Gotti had slept with years earlier. The symbolism of taking that specific piece of jewelry couldn't have been accidental, but the jewelry wasn't the main objective. According to the allegations, the real goal was to force Gucci Mane to sign paperwork releasing Pooh Shiesty from his 1017 contract.
Damn. So these boys then went on a mission from Memphis all the way to Dallas to pin these people up in the meeting. Everybody got blickies. Everybody got blickies and drakes. You hear me? Blickies and drakes. Blickies and drakes. That's what it was. So the whole thing behind everything was to get Gucci Mane to sign the contract saying that he was releasing Pooh Shiesty from 1017. Now, without this case being brought to us, and him being arrested by the feds, he would have been out of his contract and been able to sign and do whatever he wanted to at that time. You know what I mean? But now that the case is here and they've all been arrested, so it's going to be that the contract was signed, but it was signed under duress. So anything being signed under duress is not going to take or have any liability in court. Like if you was to be drunk and I was to be like, all right, yo, I need you to sign this paperwork for me, and I know that you're drunk, you know that you're drunk, and several other people know that you're drunk, you can get that signature thrown out. Let's get back to it, chat.
The sources claim that Gucci Mane was held at gunpoint until he agreed to let Pooh out of his deal so he could sign with Yo Gotti's CMG. If these allegations are true, this would represent one of the most disrespectful and dangerous betrayals in hip-hop history. We're not just talking about an artist leaving a label for better opportunities. We're talking about armed robbery, kidnapping, and extortion. The story has been corroborated by multiple independent sources, which gives it more credibility than typical industry rumors. Tasha K., a prominent blogger with connections throughout the industry, tweeted, "Yes, allegedly Gucci Mane was kidnapped by Pooh Shiesty and held at gunpoint until he signed a contract releasing him from his Death Row Records 2.0 situation. A very strong source connected to the situation called me and filled me in." She continued, "There was no confirmed robbery, just an alleged contract release so Pooh could freely sign to Yo Gotti on Monday. I'll drop the rest of the deets. This is allegedly the real reason Pooh Shiesty was arrested and they're allegedly trying to cover it up." Adam, 22, from No Jumper also confirmed that he had heard similar stories from multiple industry sources. During a podcast, he said, "I'm telling you, the whole music industry has heard this rumor. Everybody's heard this rumor and nobody can confirm 100%. So maybe there is a real sincere effort to keep it low-key, but it's not like this is being swept under the rug." He continued, "I hit a couple industry insiders just to get their thoughts like, yo, you think this is true? They all heard the same rumor as me and they all weren't able to confirm 100%. I don't think y'all understand, bro, like how many people in the industry has heard. Probably almost everybody in the industry has been told, oh yeah, that happened, bro. But nobody is really brave enough to come forward and say Gucci Mane got robbed and kidnapped because nobody really want to put their name on this 100%. The reluctance of industry insiders to go on record about the allegations makes sense given the serious nature of the claims. If the story is true, we're talking about federal crimes that could result in decades in prison for everyone involved. Nobody wants to be the person who provides evidence that could be used in a criminal case. But the most compelling evidence that something happened is Gucci Mane's response to the situation. Remember that heartfelt welcome home post he made for Pooh Shiesty when he got out of prison? The one that got over 2 million likes and reminded everyone that Pooh was back? That post has been deleted. Not only has the welcome home post been removed,
2 million likes,
but all traces of Pooh Shiesty have been scrubbed from Gucci Mane's social media accounts. For someone who had been promoted as one of 1017's biggest stars, Pooh Shiesty has been completely erased from the label's online presence. This kind of complete removal doesn't happen over normal business disputes or creative differences. When artists leave labels on good terms, there's usually some acknowledgement of their contributions and well wishes for their future. When artists leave on bad terms, there might be some subtle shade or passive-aggressive posts, but complete erasure suggests something much more serious happened. The timing of the alleged incident also makes sense given the other events that were happening. Pooh Shiesty had been showing increasing loyalty to Memphis and CMG. He had been expressing resentment about his treatment by 1017, and he had been receiving more support from Yo Gotti's camp than his own label. If Pooh Shiesty had decided he wanted out of his 1017 contract to sign with CMG, and if Gucci Mane had refused to release him, the situation could have escalated quickly. Federal prison hadn't changed Pooh's street mentality, and he had already shown that he was willing to use violence to solve his problems. The involvement of rolling 60s Crips also fits with what we know about Pooh Shiesty's connections. He had maintained his street relationships throughout his incarceration, and these weren't people who would hesitate to use violence if they felt it was necessary. Whether the allegations are completely true, partially true, or completely false, one thing is certain. The relationship between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane is over, and it ended in a way that has shocked the entire hip-hop industry. Regardless of exactly what happened in that Dallas studio, the outcome is clear. Yo Gotti has successfully executed the longest revenge plot in hip-hop history. After more than a decade of warfare that began with a simple disagreement about release dates, Gotti has managed to steal Gucci Mane's most promising artist and potentially humiliate him in the process. The victory is complete on multiple levels. First, Yo Gotti has acquired one of the most talented young rappers in the game. Pooh Shiesty brings authentic street credibility, a loyal fan base, and the kind of raw talent that can't be manufactured. For CMG, signing Pooh represents both a business win and a symbolic victory over their biggest rival. Second, Gotti has successfully defended his territory. Despite Gucci Mane's aggressive recruitment tactics and attempts to drain Memphis of its talent, the city's biggest star has chosen to come home. Pooh Shiesty's decision to align with CMG sends a message to other Memphis artists that hometown loyalty still matters and that they don't need to leave the city to achieve success. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Gotti has gotten his ultimate revenge for the years of disrespect and attempts to undermine his Memphis empire. The man who had tried to steal his city's talent has now lost his biggest star to that same city. The psychological impact of this reversal has to be devastating for Gucci Mane. The irony of the situation is almost poetic. Gucci Mane's revenge plot against Yo Gotti, which involves signing Memphis artists to hurt Gotti's hometown dominance, has backfired spectacularly. The very strategy he used to attack his enemy has now been turned against him. But the victory comes with significant risks for everyone involved. If the robbery allegations are true, Pooh Shiesty has committed federal crimes that could send him back to prison for decades. Armed robbery, kidnapping, and extortion are serious charges that carry mandatory minimum sentences. For someone who just got out of federal prison, allegedly committing more federal crimes would be incredibly stupid and self-destructive. The timing of the alleged incident also raises questions about Pooh Shiesty's decision-making abilities. He has just been released from a federal case involving firearms and violence, and his first move was allegedly to commit more crimes involving firearms and violence. Either the allegations are false, or Pooh Shiesty learned absolutely nothing from his time in prison. For Yo Gotti, the situation is also potentially problematic. If he was involved in planning or encouraging the alleged robbery, he could face serious legal consequences as well. Conspiracy charges in federal court are no joke, and prosecutors love to go after high-profile targets like successful rap moguls. The hip-hop community's reaction to the situation has been mixed. Some people are shocked by the allegations and can't believe that an artist would rob his own mentor. Others are pointing out that Gucci Mane should have seen this coming given Pooh Shiesty's name and history. The Shiesty in Pooh Shiesty's name literally means untrustworthy or deceitful. When you sign an artist with a warning label built into his stage name, you're essentially asking for trouble. Gucci Mane was so focused on his revenge plot against Yo Gotti that he ignored the obvious red flags about Pooh's character and loyalty. Industry veterans who have worked with both Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty are caught in an awkward position. Many of them understand the business pressures and personal conflicts that led to this situation, but they can't publicly support what allegedly happened. Armed robbery crosses a line that even the most street-oriented industry figures can't defend. The Memphis hip-hop community is also divided in their reactions. Some people are supporting Pooh Shiesty for choosing his hometown over Atlanta money. Others feel that he handled the situation completely wrong and that you can rep your city without disrespecting the people who helped you get there.
Indeed.
Atlanta artists have predictably sided with Gucci Mane. The city's hip-hop community is tight-knit, and disrespecting one of their legends is seen as disrespecting all of them. The alleged robbery has created a rift between Atlanta and Memphis that could have lasting consequences for collaborations and business relationships.
Definitely. It definitely can. Gosh almighty, and they've been going at it, chat. They've literally been going at it. And to think about it, that Pooh Shiesty let himself be put in this position as far as him retaliating how he did, going about the situation how he did, and moving the way that he did, because Pooh was on a rise. But as you guys see, if you wasn't here at first or in the beginning, you should now know that it didn't just stem from one thing. It was from a decade ago with Yo Gotti, with the big homies, with Yo Gotti and Gucci. So as time moved forward, it was a lot of occurrences that went on and happened. I know I've been having y'all sitting for quite some time. I'm running low on water. We're gonna pause, take a quick water break. I'm gonna grab me another bottle, and we're gonna be right back in 2.5 seconds. Y'all double tap that screen for me, chat. If y'all here, y'all rocking with the boy, y'all can double tap that screen for me. Little down the line, y'all not gonna be able to do that, because it's gonna be it's not gonna be Appreciate all of y'all. We here, we moving. Welcome to the A Society. Appreciate y'all. Right back. back. Let's get to it.
The situation has also highlighted the ongoing tensions between different regions in Southern hip-hop. The loyalty to city and region often trumps business relationships, and artists are increasingly choosing hometown connections over industry opportunities. For Gucci Mane personally, this situation represents a devastating blow to his reputation and his business model. He had built 1017 into one of the most respected labels in hip-hop by discovering and developing talent. But if his biggest star can allegedly rob him and force his way out of a contract, what does that say about his ability to manage artists and maintain loyalty? The psychological impact of the alleged robbery goes beyond just business. If the allegations are true, Gucci Mane was humiliated and victimized by someone he had treated like family. The betrayal cuts deeper than just financial losses. It's a personal violation that challenges his entire identity as a boss and mentor. The fact that his wedding ring was allegedly taken adds another layer of personal insult. That ring represents his marriage to Keyshia Ka'oir, the same woman Yo Gotti had slept with years earlier. Taking that specific piece of jewelry feels like a deliberate attempt to remind Gucci Mane of his past humiliations and current vulnerabilities. This whole situation represents much more than just a business dispute between a label owner and his artist. It's a case study in loyalty, revenge, regional pride, and the consequences of holding grudges in an industry where personal relationships and business interests are inseparably intertwined. The story begins with a fundamental misunderstanding about respect and territory. When Yo Gotti announced his release date on the same day as Gucci Mane's Trap God, he probably genuinely
happy
thought
birthday,
it would
Juice.
be a
I appreciate you, my
collaborative
brother.
moment
Have
that
a good
would
one.
benefit both artists.
Happy
But
birthday to
Gucci
Moms.
Mane
Big
saw it as a
love.
violation of his brand and an attempt to profit off his marketing efforts. This initial conflict reveals something important about hip-hop culture. Respect is often more valuable than money, and perceived disrespect can destroy relationships that took years to build. Both artists were successful enough that the financial impact of competing release dates was minimal, but the symbolic impact was enormous. The escalation from business dispute to personal betrayal shows how quickly situations can spiral out of control when pride and ego get involved. Yo Gotti's decision to sleep with Keyshia Ka'oir while Gucci Mane was locked up transformed a professional disagreement into a personal war that would last for over a decade. The betrayal also highlights the vulnerability that comes with incarceration. When you're locked up, you're dependent on the loyalty of people on the outside to protect your interests, your relationships, and your reputation. Gucci Mane trusted both his girlfriend and his friend to respect those boundaries, and both of them violated that trust in the worst possible way. Gucci Mane's response to the betrayal, his systematic attempt to drain Memphis of its talent, shows both the power and the limitations of revenge in the music industry. While he was successful in signing several Memphis artists and disrupting Yo Gotti's hometown dominance, his strategy ultimately backfired because it was based on business calculations rather than genuine relationships. The Memphis artists that Gucci Mane signed were never really his artists. They were Memphis artists who happened to be signed to his label. When the time came to choose between Atlanta money and Memphis loyalty, they chose home. This reveals something important about regional identity in hip-hop. You can take the artist out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the artist. Pooh Shiesty's alleged betrayal of Gucci Mane represents the ultimate failure of the mentor-student relationship in hip-hop. Gucci Mane had done everything right from a business perspective. He discovered Pooh's talent, invested in his career, supported him through legal troubles, and treated him like family. But none of that mattered when Pooh felt that his family had been disrespected during Big Scar's funeral. The funeral controversy reveals how personal and business relationships intersect in ways that can have unexpected consequences. Gucci Mane's request for the chains back might have made sense from a business perspective. Those chains represented significant financial value and were technically company property. But from a human perspective, asking a grieving family to return jewelry that belonged to their dead son was incredibly insensitive. This situation shows how success in hip-hop requires more than just business acumen. It requires emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, and an understanding of how your actions affect the people around you. Gucci Mane's failure to handle the Big Scar situation with appropriate sensitivity created the resentment that would eventually destroy his relationship with Pooh Shiesty. The alleged robbery also represents a broader trend in hip-hop culture where street justice is sometimes seen as more legitimate than legal or business solutions. If Pooh Shiesty felt that he was being treated unfairly by his label, there were legal ways to address the situation, but the alleged decision to use violence and intimidation suggests a mindset where might makes right and contracts can be broken at gunpoint. This mentality is particularly dangerous for artists who have already been through the federal system. Pooh Shiesty had just served time for firearms violations, and allegedly committing more violent crimes immediately after his release shows a complete disregard for the consequences of his actions. The situation also highlights the ongoing tension between authenticity and business success in hip-hop. Artists are expected to maintain their street credibility while also operating as successful business people. But these two identities often conflict, and the pressure to prove authenticity can lead to destructive decisions.
Yes, indeed, chat. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yo Gotti's role in this situation is particularly interesting because he managed to achieve his revenge without directly getting his hands dirty. If the allegations are true, he didn't need to orchestrate the robbery himself. He just needed to be there with open arms when Pooh Shiesty decided to force his way out of his 1017 contract. This represents a masterclass in strategic patience. Instead of responding to Gucci Mane's Memphis recruitment campaign with direct retaliation, Gotti waited for the inevitable problems that would arise from those relationships. When Gucci Mane's insensitive handling of the Big Scar situation created resentment, Gotti was ready to capitalize on that resentment. The long-term implications of this situation extend beyond just the individuals involved. Other artists are watching to see how this plays out, and the lessons they learn will influence their own decisions about loyalty, contracts, and regional identity. For label owners, the situation serves as a warning about the importance of treating artists as human beings rather than just business assets. Gucci Mane's technical approach to the Big Scar situation might have made business sense, but it ignored the emotional and cultural factors that ultimately matter more in building lasting relationships.
And that's why, chat, I say I understood both sides, the family side and Gucci side. Gucci was moving more so on a business term, and the family was moving off of the emotional ties and the emotional scars that they were receiving from the situation that happened. And Gucci Mane, I believe he didn't show up. I believe Big Gooch didn't show up to the funeral because it was already a lot of tension in the air prior to the funeral. So if he would have showed up to the funeral, things could have got hectic. Let's get back to it, chat.
For artists, the situation shows both the power and the risks of choosing loyalty over business opportunities. Pooh Shiesty's decision to prioritize Memphis over Atlanta might feel authentic and righteous.
Speak on it. We appreciate you. Much love.
It could cost him his freedom and his
Appreciate
career.
you.
At the end of the day, this story is about the consequences of betrayal, the power of patience, and the complex relationship between loyalty and success in hip-hop culture. What started as a petty disagreement about mixtape release dates has evolved into one of the most personal and destructive feuds in recent rap history.
You know the vibes.
Yo Gotti's victory is complete, but it came at a significant cost.
Have a good
He
one.
spent over a decade planning and executing his revenge against Gucci Mane, and while he ultimately succeeded in stealing his enemy's biggest artist, the methods allegedly used to achieve that victory could have serious legal consequences for everyone involved. Gucci Mane's fall from mentor to victim represents a cautionary tale about the importance of emotional intelligence in business relationships. His technical skills as a label owner and talent scout were never in question, but his failure to handle sensitive situations with appropriate care ultimately cost him his most promising artist. What do you think about this whole situation? Did Pooh Shiesty cross the line, or was he justified in choosing Memphis loyalty over Atlanta money? Do you think the robbery allegations are true, or is this just another case of hip-hop rumors getting out of control? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop's biggest controversies. Because in this game, loyalty is everything. Betrayal has consequences, and sometimes the longest revenge plots are the most devastating. Yo Gotti waited over a decade to get his ultimate revenge on Gucci Mane, and if these allegations are true, he got it in the most disrespectful way possible.
Chat. Now, this next video coming to us, this right here, the big fella, he's Big Scar, close friend, Big 30. He's also signed, so they're gonna get into it as far as why Big 30, the heavyset fella with the afro, why Big 30 was gotten to be like seen as in disagreement. So we're gonna lock this in and find out why. But Big 30 was just arrested by the FBI too, because he was there. He was there. He pulled out the chopper, as they would say. Man, it's crazy work. So let's tap in and find out what's going on.
A lot of people like try to put out this crazy narrative about 1017 as if it's like, you know, a cursed label or some shit like that. And sometimes when you look at Shiesty, it's like that's the last big success story that came from 1017.
I don't think it's no 1017 curse.
Nah.
Yeah, man, I don't think no 1017 curse. Life just be life, and niggas go through shit. Shit just be happening. Man, if that would happen with any other CEO, which I would have said it was a Wutu curse.
I think Gucci just take chances on a whole bunch of people that.
I don't think Gucci. You think Gucci looking into these niggas like, oh, I think he a street nigga. Let me sign him. No nigga trying to sign no liability.
I show mighty speak on it.
Like, no nigga trying to sign no nigga that's gonna go to jail. Shit
crazy
just be
work,
happening, bro.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no curse or no shit like that.
But we've seen Gucci sign a lot of artists who are mixed up in a lot of crazy street shit, and it just seems like he don't give a because if the music's hot enough, he wants to work with them and shit. And you know, you got to give him credit for that. He ain't shying away from it.
It's because Gucci a business man, and how that man do his business, we don't know, and it really don't have nothing to do with it. He's just a business man. Only he know why he do the things he do.
What type of game and shit you got from being around someone like Gucci or like Gotti early on? Cause like when Shiesty signed to Gucci, I'm pretty sure you was hanging out with him.
Like, go on, like keep making music. Like I remember one time when we was in the studio with Gucci and we made Allegation, and we just kept playing it. Gucci was like, "Come on, man, one hit, go to the next song, man. Y'all gotta make song after song, man. Y'all can't understand this song hard." We were like, "Damn, this shit serious. Like, we gotta keep going."
Yeah,
so, you know what I'm saying? We just kept going, and you know, Gotti, he
yeah,
always give us
mercy,
like, all the time.
Cereal, no murk.
He tell me most of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Gotti want always touch $1 million. And I ain't even signed to him. Dude, support me to the fullest. Put me on this album, on this page. Rest in peace, Big Jook. Jook, support me to the fullest too. You know what I'm saying?
Big Jook?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are your memories of Big Jook and what he was like around that time?
Man, Jook was just so fun. Jook a good dude, like, real boss. You know what I'm saying? He loved the young niggas. He loved to kick with the young niggas, make sure the young niggas straight. You know what I'm saying? Jook was a good nigga. And he give out game, like, he really had this music shit in the chokehold too. Y'all just don't know. Yeah, for real.
What, just more on the business side?
Yeah, on the business side, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, because he had something to do. Like, he was the one that found Glorilla, right? In a way, I think.
I mean, I don't know about all day, but I know he found a couple of that for sure.
How did you feel? All right, and one thing that did go viral with Gucci, how did you feel? Like, I think you had posted a picture of Gucci, and then Gucci was like, "Nigga, I met you one time" or some shit. How did you feel when he had said that? And then what was your relationship like now?
I mean, as soon as I seen this thing threw us out, because it was me and Shiesty the first time meeting him. So we both like hit him like, "Damn, what's up with this good up?" You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna talk about what we said in the message.
Yeah.
But long story short, Gucci was like, "Man, I was tripping, I'm gonna fix it. Who did that, bam, man?" He flew a nigga out to Miami, did a free song, free video with a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Apologize like a man, you know what I'm saying? We left that little shit behind it. For sure.
Yeah.
Gucci just wanted to sign me back. Like,
and that's what I was gonna say, because he was one of the niggas that
Them
wanted to
boys
sign
in there leaning to the left, chat.
Sure.
And why didn't you? Why you ain't go with the Gucci route?
I had already.
Everybody in slow motion.
It was too late.
Yeah. What year did you sign to Moneybagg?
Like 2019, I think.
Okay. And so you had the conversation about signing to Gotti. How come you went through Moneybagg?
What you mean?
Like, had you had conversations with both of them, or?
Nah, it wasn't no shit like. God just took us out to eat and just was talking to us.
Mega. He can't even hold his shit together.
Like, he probably was finna sign us sooner or later or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like, I was around bad and every day with my cousin Newski. You know what I'm saying?
Because Newski and Newski and Bag had a relationship. That's who put you on the Bag, right? That's how it go? That's how the story go?
What?
Newski and Bag were friends already? And he put you on, or he introduced you to Bag?
Yeah, like, Newski and Big Homie G. Newski, Big Homie G, my nigga Drake.
And Newski ended up...
Like, Newski just used to go around bumping me and shit, telling me, like, this is my little cousin. Drake is like, this young nigga next up. And, you know, Big Homie G just, like, put the push on him, like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how I went, cause G and Bag.
He about to doze off, Nicole.
And Newski ended up signing the Bread Gang too at one point, right?
I think so. I don't know.
What type of person Newski was for the people who don't know him? Because we heard you talk about him a lot, your music and shit.
Man, that was a good nigga all around the board. Like, anything you can name, like, anything you know, he gonna come through if he get the kids from school.
They say allegedly Big 30 was just the doorman with the chopper.
Whatever. He was just always that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
And that's not your friend, that's your cousin?
Yeah, that's my
so
cousin.
that's your blood cousin.
For sure.
For sure. Like, yeah. At what point did he start rapping? Do you think he was influenced by you guys, or was he doing it before you?
Everybody just used to tell Newski to rap. He used to fuck with it. Before he died, he caught himself going to the studio a couple times, but he used to fuck with it.
For sure. So you were with him like an hour before he got killed?
I was just with him, yeah. I was just with him.
That's crazy. Is that like something that kind of haunts you, or you think about that? Just like how things might have played out differently?
I mean, it don't haunt me, but I think about a lot of shit.
So,
just, like I said, shit, this
brain
shit
be all fried and
fried
freaking seed, man.
They could have been any one of us.
Be thinking about
You know
too
what I'm
many
saying?
things at one time every single day.
We left school, went to the gas station, chopped it up, saved for around some beer, and he went his way out with my way. And like, I got that call like about 25 minutes later.
Damn. Sorry about that. That's tough. Was that like the closest person to you that you had lost at that time, or?
Yeah, it's my closest friend ever. I got him tatted on me. Like, my whole left side of my stomach.
You talking about Gino too as well. That's what somebody here you rap about, right?
Yeah, Gino, yeah. It's my little brother. He died in 2017. Gino the Bull. Yeah, it was a good young nigga. I miss him. I say his name that night every day.
Yeah. So, what was he like?
Man, play too much and real do it. Like, just a little hard ass young nigga. But you know what I'm saying? He got a little south side too. Take care of his little sisters and his mama. And, you know what I'm saying? I miss my nigga though. That's a good nigga.
He passed away to gun violence or something?
Yeah, by mistake though. I named my son after Gino. Yeah, my son middle name is Gino first name.
Y'all ain't noticed since Pooh Shiesty been home, ain't been no 1017 repping. It ain't been no shouting out Gucci Man and I'm 1017 this and Gucci Man this and Gucci Man that. Ain't none of that.
Pooh Shiesty, the greatest Memphis rapper who generated millions of streams and put 1017 Records back on the map, just made a statement that sent shockwaves through the industry. After serving years behind bars, he came home to nothing from the label that promised him everything. And the man at the center of this betrayal? Gucci Mane himself. This isn't just another artist-label dispute. This is personal. This involves family, death, disrespect, and money. Lots of money. And if you think this is going to blow over quietly, you haven't been paying attention to how Memphis moves. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to reveal shows exactly why this situation could explode into one of the biggest beefs in hip-hop. Let's break it down. To understand how we got here, you need to understand who Pooh Shiesty is and what he meant to 1017 Records. Back in 2020, Pooh Shiesty wasn't just another signee, he was the future of Gucci Mane's label. His breakout hit Back in Blood featuring Lil Durk became a cultural phenomenon, racking up hundreds of millions of streams and turning Pooh Shiesty into one of the hottest names in rap almost overnight. The Memphis rapper brought a raw, authentic street energy that resonated with fans across the country. His debut mixtape, Shiesty Season, went platinum, and suddenly 1017 Records was relevant again in ways it hadn't been in years. Pooh Shiesty wasn't just making music, he was making Gucci Mane money, serious money. But in October 2021, everything changed. Pooh Shiesty was arrested and eventually sentenced to 5 years in federal prison on firearms conspiracy charges. For most artists, that would be career suicide. Prison time kills momentum, kills buzz, kills relevance, but Pooh Shiesty, his star only grew brighter. Fans stayed loyal, his music continued to stream, and the anticipation for his release built to a fever pitch. During this time, Gucci Mane made public statements about how much he missed Pooh Shiesty, how he couldn't wait for him to come home, how 1017 was holding it down for their star artist. Gucci even went as far as dropping almost everyone else from the label roster, keeping only Pooh Shiesty and Fugiano. But as we're learning now, those public statements didn't match the private reality. Let's rewind to when everything seemed perfect. When Pooh Shiesty first signed to 1017 Records, it looked like a match made in hip-hop heaven. Gucci Mane, the legendary trap pioneer from Atlanta, linking up with the hungry young Memphis street rapper. Pooh Shiesty brought that raw, unfiltered energy that reminded people of early Gucci Mane, and Gucci provided the platform, the resources, and the industry connections. In those early days, Pooh Shiesty repped 1017 hard. Every interview, every social media post, every song, he was shouting out the label. 1017 the label, man. Gucci Mane the GOAT, Big 1017. He wore the chain with pride. He talked about Gucci Mane like a mentor, like family. The loyalty was real, or at least it seemed that way. And why wouldn't it be? Gucci Mane had given him the opportunity of a lifetime. Before 1017, Pooh Shiesty was just another talented street rapper from Memphis trying to make it. After signing, he was performing at major venues, getting features from industry heavyweights, and seeing his face on billboards. The partnership was working, but here's what most people don't realize. Even before Pooh Shiesty went to prison, there were already cracks forming in the relationship. Industry insiders were whispering about contract disputes, about Pooh Shiesty feeling like he wasn't getting his fair share, about tension behind the scenes. Nothing public, nothing dramatic, just the kind of business disagreements that happen in every label relationship. Fast forward to 2025, and Pooh Shiesty is finally coming home. The hip-hop world is watching, waiting to see what happens next. Will he pick up where he left off? Will 1017 give him the red carpet treatment? Will Gucci Mane show up with jewelry, money, and a plan to take over the industry? The answer, apparently, was none of the above. Shortly after his release, Pooh Shiesty made a post on social media that got everyone talking. He said that when he came home from prison, no label, no rappers, no friends really looked out for him. Just his family and his day ones. Now, he didn't name names directly, but come on, we all know who he's talking about. When you're signed to 1017 Records and you say, no label looked out, there's only one label that could be. But why? According to sources close to the situation, it all comes down to money. Specifically, contract negotiations. See, when Pooh Shiesty went to prison, he was operating under his original deal with 1017. But when he came home, that contract was up for renewal. And this is where things get interesting. Pooh Shiesty went into prison as a hot new artist with one successful project. He came out as a certified star with a platinum album, a massive fan base, and more buzz than ever.
And that right there, chat, is when you're doing any business, you gotta go in with your upper hand on the up. It's negotiations. If you feel that you are worth more than what's being offered to you, then you have the right to negotiate and try to get as much as you can, or get to appeal to a number that you would see fit that would be all right with you, you know? So he went in a green bean. He was fresh meat, came out. He was good to go. He kind of understood some of the business, and he knew that he was a hot commodity. So instead of him re-signing the same exact deal, he knew like, okay, I can get more because I'm worth more. That's why he figured that he was worth more than what he was before he went in. Let's go.
His value had skyrocketed. Any label executive with sense would recognize that and adjust the contract accordingly. But apparently Gucci Mane didn't see it that way. Word on the street is that when it came time to renegotiate, Gucci Mane was offering numbers that were way below what Pooh Shiesty was worth. We're talking about lowball offers that didn't reflect the streams, the cultural impact, or the earning potential. It was like Gucci Mane was trying to lock Pooh Shiesty into the same type of deal he had as an unknown artist, even though he was now a proven commodity. Pooh Shiesty, to his credit, wasn't having it. He knows his worth now. He's seen the numbers. He's felt the love from the fans. And he understands the business better than he did as a young artist just trying to get on. So when Gucci Mane came with those weak numbers, Pooh Shiesty pushed back. And that's when the relationship really started to fall apart. Since coming home, Pooh Shiesty hasn't mentioned 1017 once. Not in posts, not in interviews, not in freestyles. The chain? Haven't seen it. The shout-outs? Silent. For someone who used to be the label's biggest cheerleader, that silence speaks volumes. What did Pooh Shiesty get from Gucci Mane? According to him, nothing. No welcome home package, no new jewelry, no car, no significant cash gift. Just business as usual, like he hadn't just spent years in federal prison while still generating revenue for the label, but it gets worse. There's another layer to this situation that makes it even more personal, and it involves Pooh Shiesty's cousin, Big Scar. Big Scar was another rising star on 1017 Records, and he was Pooh Shiesty's family. In December 2022, Big Scar tragically passed away from an accidental overdose. He was only 22 years old, and his death devastated the Memphis hip-hop community. For Pooh Shiesty, who was still locked up at the time, losing his cousin was incredibly painful. But what happened after Big Scar's death made things even worse. According to Big Scar's family, Gucci Mane tried to get the 1017 chain back after he died. Let that sink in. A young artist dies tragically, and instead of supporting the family, instead of helping with funeral costs, instead of showing respect, the focus was on getting the chain back. Big Scar's brother even went on social media calling out Gucci Mane, saying that when they called about help with the funeral, Gucci blocked them. He said Gucci wasn't acting like a real CEO, wasn't showing the kind of support that you'd expect from someone who claimed to care about his artists. For Pooh Shiesty, watching this happen to his family while he was locked up had to be infuriating. This wasn't just business anymore. This was personal. This was about how Gucci Mane treated his blood, his cousin, his family. And it showed Pooh Shiesty exactly what kind of person he was really dealing with. Now here's where the situation gets even more complicated. Even if Pooh Shiesty wanted to reach out to Gucci Mane directly, even if he wanted to have a real conversation about all of this, he can't. Why? Because Gucci Mane's wife, Keisha Kaware, controls everything. Multiple sources have confirmed that Keisha runs Gucci Mane's Instagram, controls his phone, and basically manages all of his communications. If you want to talk to Gucci Mane, you have to go through her first. She sees the DMs, she monitors the calls, she decides who gets access. Now, some people might say that's just a wife looking out for her husband, but in the music industry, that's a problem. Artists need to be able to communicate directly with their label head. They need to be able to have private conversations about business, about creative direction, about personal issues. When there's always a third party involved, especially one who might have their own agenda, it creates barriers. For Pooh Shiesty, this means that even if he wanted to address his issues with Gucci Mane man-to-man, he'd have to go through Keisha. And based on how things have played out, it's clear that's not a productive path. Here's the cold, hard truth that Pooh Shiesty has realized. There's nothing Gucci Mane can do for him now that he can't do for himself. Think about it. When Pooh Shiesty first signed to 1017, he needed the platform, the connections, the industry infrastructure. He was an unknown artist trying to break through. Gucci Mane provided that opportunity, and for that, Pooh Shiesty was grateful. But now, Pooh Shiesty has his own fan base. He has his own streaming numbers. He has his own brand recognition. He's proven that he can generate hits and move units. What exactly does he need 1017 for at this point? A distribution? He can get that from any major label or even go independent with the right team. Marketing? His name alone generates buzz. He doesn't need 1017's marketing machine. Features? Artists want to work with him because of who he is, not because of his label affiliation. The power dynamic has completely shifted. Pooh Shiesty isn't the hungry young artist anymore. He's a proven star who did time and came out with even more credibility and buzz. He holds the cards now, and Gucci Mane trying to lowball him on a contract renewal shows that Gucci either doesn't understand that or doesn't care. This is why Pooh Shiesty is willing to walk away. This is why he's not repping 1017 anymore. This is why the relationship has soured, because he's realized that staying with Gucci Mane means accepting less than he's worth, and he's not willing to do that. And if Pooh Shiesty does go there, how will Gucci Mane respond? Will he try to defend himself? Will he fire back with his own diss tracks? Or will he try to smooth things over and repair the relationship? If this turns into a public beef, it could seriously damage 1017 Records. What other artist is going to want to sign there if they see how Pooh Shiesty was treated? Who's going to trust Gucci Mane to have their back if he couldn't even support his biggest star when he came home from prison? The stakes are high for both sides. For Pooh Shiesty, this is about respect and getting what he's worth. For Gucci Mane, this is about his legacy and the future of his label. This situation also highlights a bigger problem in the music industry, how labels treat artists, especially young artists who don't fully understand the business when they first sign. Pooh Shiesty signed to 1017 when he was hungry, when he needed the opportunity, when he would have agreed to almost anything just to get his foot in the door. That's how most artists start out. But as they grow, as they learn the business, as they see their real value, those early contracts start to feel like chains. The smart labels recognize this and adjust accordingly. They renegotiate in good faith. They show appreciation for the artist's growth. They build long-term relationships based on mutual respect and fair compensation. The labels that don't do this, they lose their best artists and develop reputations as places to avoid. Right now, 1017 Records is at risk of becoming the latter. If Gucci Mane can't repair this relationship with Pooh Shiesty, if he can't show that he values his artists and treats them fairly, then 1017 is going to struggle to attract top talent going forward. And let's be real, without Pooh Shiesty, who does 1017 have? Fujiano is still dealing with legal issues. Most of the other artists have been dropped or left. Pooh Shiesty was the franchise, and if he walks away, what's left? This is a critical moment for Gucci Mane. He can either step up, make things right, and show that he's a label head who takes care of his artists, or he can let this situation spiral and watch his label's reputation crumble. When you look at the whole picture, it's clear that the relationship between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane has reached a breaking point. What started as a promising partnership has deteriorated into a situation filled with resentment, disrespect, and broken trust. Pooh Shiesty came home from prison expecting support from the label he helped build. Instead, he got lowball contract offers, silence, and watched as his cousin's family was disrespected after Big Scar's death. That's not how you treat family, and it's definitely not how you treat your biggest star. Now, Pooh Shiesty is making it clear that he's done playing games. He's not repping 1017 anymore. He's not shouting out Gucci Mane, and he's letting the world know that nobody looked out for him when he came home. That's a powerful statement, and it's one that could have serious consequences. The question now is whether this stays as subliminal tension or escalates into something bigger. Will Pooh Shiesty address this directly in his music? Will Gucci Mane respond? Will this turn into one of hip-hop's next major beefs? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The loyalty that once existed between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane is gone. And in hip-hop, once that trust is broken, it's almost impossible to get back. What do you think about this situation? Do you think Pooh Shiesty is justified in how he feels? Should Gucci Mane have done more to support him when he came home? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on how this situation develops, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. This story is far from over, and you don't want to miss what happens next.
Miss Ash said, I wouldn't want someone on there going and we confirmed that Ash is the one that said this and said that and this. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right, Miss Ma'am. 0%. Because you know, after the fact, even still, who they coming after? Miss Ash. They coming to look for you, Miss Ash. Without a doubt. Which is crazy work, diabolical, but they gotta stay out the way. Hopefully, somehow, some way, they stay out the way. 'Cause that's just getting into a little bit too much of nothing. I got a couple more joints for y'all, and this is gonna bring us towards our little end. So we're gonna smack that. Piece that. Okay. So just so y'all can have all the good info and y'all can leave here with a good state of mind of what happened, what we're covering, and the beginning of why it happened. So with that, we got like a few more minutes left, chat. I know y'all been here with me for a good minute, and I appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody double tapping, liking, subbing. We appreciate all of y'all. We a small channel, and we on the grind, and we on the grow. Thank y'all.
Do you know about the whole Pooh Shiesty Gucci Mane situation? Have you ever commented on that or no?
I've been seeing it, but I don't know. I can't comment on it. If we stop being immature so much and stop trying to live up to certain reputations, man, life can be a whole lot better. If it's true, we all seen Gucci Mane, he done got married, he been enjoying his life in Miami and just take care of whatever it is that, you know, he want to do. Gucci Mane ain't out here starting problems with nobody creating. So if a person take upon themselves to go here and violate this man and publicly get on social media and try to whatever, I'ma pray for you. I'ma pray for all of you, because at the end of the day, how we gonna grow still stuck in this poor nigga mindset? So I don't know what's going on with the Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty thing. I like Pooh Shiesty. I like his music. You feel me? I like a lot of Memphis niggas. They act like me when they get on that type of time. So you know, I don't know, man.
Yeah, look, I think when you talk about Atlanta, I think Gucci Mane had the biggest turnaround of
Marcus,
anyone in the history of Atlanta.
Never
he
ever
went
matter.
from being a crash out, you know, getting charged with murder, beefing with everybody on all types of, you know, mental issues.
Hold up, Vlad, let me stop you. Gucci, man, if you watching this live, hopefully people tag you up under this right here, Gucci. If you watching this, let me tell you something, man. You continue to be a better man. Whatever the case is, you continue to ignore whatever they're talking about. You continue to take care of your beautiful wife and your kids, and you live your life, my guy. You feel what I'm saying? Forget a reputation. Forget whatever anybody got to say. Because the moment you feel that, you know the feds is waiting. You know the devil is waiting. You can't beat them like that. You beat people with success. You gonna be more successful. All right, Vlad, you can finish it.
Yeah, no, I agree. He went from all that to coming out of prison, losing weight, getting healthy, doesn't do, you know, drugs anymore, doesn't drink anymore. Family man, had more kids, career kept going up, a lot of big features. You never hear him get into any trouble. You never even hear him beefing with people, even when people like accuse him of shit. Because I think like there was a rumor that like he got robbed for his wedding ring or something. He just put up a video holding up his wedding ring, and that was it. Yeah, man, I love it. I love it.
I don't love it. I don't love it.
No.
Because Pooh Shiesty get a fresh start to be a great. And they got us thinking that we got to be foolish to succeed. So whatever the case is, man, I hope it ain't true. I hope it's just some haters being haters and we can be great. Like Trump said, let's be great again.
Took everything to clean them up.
Are you serious?
The nigga retarded, bro. It has to hit the streets yet. Remember, I always get the shit first.
Yeah, I gotta talk to you at the stream, bro. I'll call you in a little bit, bro.
This right here is Ben the Don. He was just streaming with Ben the Don, and got tapped by his probation officer while he was out and about. So Ben the Don is getting a phone call while he's streaming on live, and he puts the phone on freaking speakerphone, man, on fucking goddamn speakerphone. So the dude calls him and tells him that they about to hit Pooh Shiesty, whatever the case may be, that the feds about to hit Pooh Shiesty. And he said, yeah, just remember, I get the information first. So da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, gosh almighty, crazy word.
No, bro, this shit never fucking ends. That shit damn near made me on the end stream, gang.
There was a rumor that Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Mane for his wedding ring.
Yeah.
And I remember Gucci actually posted like a picture on IG showing his ring. and people are saying that it was just a false rumor, but you claimed that multiple Memphis insiders told you it was true.
Yeah. I heard about it from a bunch of people before it really like got elevated to the status of being, you know, sort of something that every rap fan knew about. I mean, I do feel like if it had no truth to it, that Gucci would have debunked it more forcefully.
Let me understand this, y'all. Please help me. I really need help. Pooh Shiesty did all that time in jail, in the feds. He around people that have unbelievable cases where it show how far the feds willing to go. Pride and ego is our main enemy. That's why I call myself Wooded versus Wooded. I have to fight myself every day to not let these suckers trick me back in jail. To not let these suckers trick me away from my kids and take my life.
I told y'all Shiesty was going back. I'm just saying, I got to be one of the smartest in hip-hop history. Yeah, I got to be, I'm not the boy predict everything by I predicted the fall of YSL. I just know how to analyze, assess, and make observations, quick observations. If all the police, I pull their ass over. Yeah, all the in there sweating with the windows down. You can't tell if them are African. Yeah, I pull their ass over the chick. And it sound like Gucci cooperated. It sound like the victim. Gucci was a victim and gave his testimony. Come on over here with me, Gucci. It's all right. It's all right to go and be civilian. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on over here with me, Gucci. Press charges on their ass to the full extent of the law. That's how you get to. Now, I don't hear nobody telling Gucci not to press charges like they tell him, trying to convince me not to press charges on Thug. I don't hear nobody calling Gucci a hoe ass for pressing charges. They done not put somebody down there in a coma, holding like Suge Knight, holding that boy upside down over the balcony, that Vanilla Ice boy. I signed the contract. I live there, man. That's like yeah. Pooh Shiesty done come out here acting like Red on 5 Heartbeats.
So
yeah, say, you know what that is? Say the boy done come out here acting like Red on 5 Heartbeats, man. Yeah. I knew once he done shaved that goddamn Taliban bird off. Y'all done with them birds recidivate. Yeah. Y'all done with them fluffy birds recidivate when they get out of prison. Yeah, you gotta go back to your goatee. Yeah, boy should have went back to his goatee. God damn it, Shiesty. Boy, I was sure looking forward to you coming to concert and watching young go to jail for the summer. I just knew, man, what a damn, Shiesty. I was looking forward to a Shiesty too.
Yeah, Shiki, I understand. And indeed, I put all of these people at the end of the video that were commentating on what's going on, just because of the fact that all of these people that I just played and put into the video, they are, they are part of the, how could I call it? Of the Squeak Squad. You know what I mean? They're part of the Squeak Squad. So I just put that at the end of the video because they were all the ones that were commentating. So I lined that up with what's going on, and then see how that entitled and in line with what's actually happened. And with it being 2026, everybody's like want to do any and everything for clout. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to do any and everything for clout. So at this time, it's like you never know who or do what, say what, when, where, or why. You know what I mean? So it's best that you just stay out the way, do your dirt on your lonely, you know what I mean? And just try to be okay. That's all. Because this is real wicked and real weird out here. Crazy love, man. Crazy.
I'm not bullshitting. Feds in the street. Oh, damn, Shiesty. They get the whole man too. What them feds mean and take it to daddy too. God damn.
Appreciate you, Sandra. Don't forget to hit me on the Discord.
Any other time to think, boy, if it's any other time to think about telling, this is it right here. You talking about the kind of federal charges for federal kidnapping? Oh my goodness, up to a life sentence. Oh man, whoever these FBI agents is here, they finna get a promotion. They fucking around being in line up to be the FBI director one day for bringing down Shiesty. I'm not bullshitting. Oh my goodness. I told y'all Shiesty.
Indeed, y'all. So that was that. For everybody that's been here from the beginning to the end. Now y'all have a little bit more details and then a little bit more, you know, something to go off of instead of just saying, okay, Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci and that was it. That's the end of the story. Nah, it stemmed way deeper than that. Way deeper than that. And for all of y'all who stayed and watched and turned up with me, I appreciate all of y'all from the jump. Whew. It's a whole lot going on. Nicole says, man, this a lot. Yeah, a whole lot going on, Nicole. A whole lot going on. See, but a lot of people, they just pushing the fact of as far as Shiesty doing what he just did, but they're not giving them people the back information of what led up to, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to come up here and give y'all a fresh scoop, fresh drop of everything that's shaking off, you know what I mean? And make sure y'all was aware, you know? That's how that go. I appreciate everybody for rocking out with the kid. Remember, y'all double tap that screen for me. Push the boy through the algorithm. Like, comment, subscribe. It's been a good one. So as we leave on that note, always remember, y'all, who do we defend? The who? The kids, the women, the elderly. Anybody know the fourth one? The innocent. Always take care. Always, man. So, oh, you still here, Sandra? Yeah, the innocent. Indeed. Much love and appreciation to all of y'all that came through, showed love to the kid. This one right here, little extendo, and we'll be back probably around 10:30 tonight. We'll be back around like 10:30 tonight. So I'll be popping back up in a few more hours. So everybody, much love. I appreciate everybody that came through. Remember, over here at the A Society, we don't break the content. We just break the content down. It's been a good one. I'll see y'all shortly. Till next time. Peace.